3 games, 1 start. He doesn't have an 8.64 ERA. Remember, early in the season, he's had some nice moments, and he'll get a chance to mow down some Jetbox hitters tonight, much like Konashevsky and company did in the ball game last night. And also, if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome in. It's always a pleasure to have you from around the country and around the world. We know we got players from colleges all around the country playing in this league. And, of course, we got Jetbox South. This team is up in Alaska, the majority of it. We got 13, now 14 players down here, so most of these guys are going to play much of the way. As you see now, Joshua Castillo, on the mound, getting ready for this one. As I mentioned, I will have a surprise in the 3rd inning. It's a very emotional surprise, so get ready for that. Someone will be joining the broadcast. I don't know if I'm second-guessing myself on this right now. We'll see. Big shout-out to Tim Riley, the media maven who's to my left right now. Without him, this broadcast wouldn't be happening. Social media, great citizen, very tall, and a good egg. He likes it. And, of course, we got Kyle and my man Nick on the PA. Nick just got a nice compliment from one of the parents' fathers. I said, just tame it down. He's all right. Now, Nick does a great job as our PA man here for the Monarchs. We're about to get going. Umpires tonight, Nick Kabitsky behind home plate. And our man Ed Marks, who's been here for a few games, will be out in the field. And leading things off will be Michael Shudarov. And he's wearing number 12, even though that is not his usual number, but he is going to wear number 12. And here's our first pitch, and it's a grounder to second base at 7:01, and that's an easy put out for Jason Gamini. And there we go. Just like that, 1 pitch, 1 out. Game time temperature here in beautiful Howell, Michigan. 81 degrees. It is mostly sunny, but now it's becoming kind of partly cloudy. It was pretty cloudless earlier in the day and very humid. Humidity, because I'm a weatherman, at least I pretend to be one, is 41% right now, so it felt a little warmer earlier, but now we got some cloud cover, and it should be a beautiful night for baseball. That one in there for a called strike on the number 2 hitter, number 30, Cody Holtink. Holtink hails from University of Michigan and Battle Creek, Michigan, junior. And takes another strike. This is kind of the start we had last night, where both pitchers, including Sylvester for the Jetbox and, of course, Quinn Konashevsky, our player of the game last night for the Monarchs, were just mowing down hitters. 11 of the first 12 batters were down by both pitchers combined. And that ball strikes him out looking, and he looks back at umpire Kurt Kabitsky, not happy. You better be careful there if you're Cody Holtink, the left fielder. But it's a punch out on strikes, and it's the first strikeout for Josh Castillo. Now 2 down, and nobody on. And the number 3 hitter, Caden Penn, the designated hitter, number 57, is what he's wearing tonight. Normally wears number 20. A lot of jerseys will be switched based on situations of teams having players come and go, not as they please. It's a great Nirvana song. Come as you are. Hopefully we don't have to pay for that. That ball low. 2-0. Caden Penn out of Calvin College. Senior from Washington Township, Michigan. Jetbox coached by Steve Herbst. Assistant coach Butch Lux, who's got sons on the team. Bench coach Jeremy Kroll's son, Nick Kroll's on the team. And their coach is Joe Radegweski. Jetbox are going to, or excuse me, Monarchs, as the 3-0 delivery, 4 straight pitches on a walk to Penn. He'll take first, so 1 on with 2 out. The Monarchs are going to be coached by my man David Robinson and Tim Riley's father, the great Peter Riley, because we got Kelton Caldwell and pitcher coach Adam Castilla, of course, relation to Joshua. They are up in Alaska right now. The great Wide Open. What a great Tom Petty song that was. 2 down. Good start, except for that walk by Castillo. Let's see what he does here over the head of the cleanup hitter Dylan Stanton, the shortstop. He didn't play last night. He's out of Michigan as well, University of Michigan, that is. He's a Wolverine senior from Richland, Michigan. And here comes the 1-0 delivery from Castillo. Winds up, and it's batted towards third. Foul ball. So it'll even the count at 1-1. Jetbox wearing those cool blue and white uniforms, and the Monarchs in their classic green pinstripes with green socks. I think Tim Riley, with that Irish red hair, must love that. You guys are Irish, right? It's the luck of the Irish. If you weren't, I'd be scared. Because you look Irish, and Irish people are great. Except if they're in the movie Dodgeball. 1-1. That ball outside. on Dylan Stanton, and Stanton has yet to register or check that. He's just batting 100. 10 at-bats so far, just a run, a hit, and 2 ribbies. And the runner goes, and that throw's not going to be even close from Connor Cornwell. It goes into center field, but no damage done because it didn't matter. Penn was going to get there anyway. So now a 2-2 count with 2 down. We got 2s all over the place here in the top of the first inning. Steele would love to end it right here. He already struck out 1. Can he get 2? Here comes the delivery. Outside, the count worked full by Dylan Stanton, the shortstop, with Penn on second in scoring position here in the top of the first. Really has cooled down. Beautiful night for baseball. A nice crowd in attendance here. If you're not been out here yet, as that ball batted to center field, and it's going to drop for a hit. That should score the run. Chugging around third is Penn. There is going to be a much closer throw than I thought, but Penn gets in, and much unlike last night, Jetbox were down 5-0 before they even threatened the game. It was in the 5th inning, though, but they score first here, and it's 1-0 Jetbox. Timely 2-out hitting by Dylan Stanton. Now up the number 5 hitter, the first baseman, Colin Priest. Priest out of Michigan. That's 3 straight Wolverines. I got to love that, even though it's the opposing team. He's a freshman from Mount Dora, the Explorer, Florida. And that ball low by Castillo. And a great start in the first 2 batters. Got that ground out and strikeout, but struggling the last couple of batters here is Castillo. He's got a 1-0 count on Priest. And a swing and a miss. That's a nice one with the fastball for Castillo. Let's get the numbers on Castillo. This is his second start. He's appeared in 3 games so far, now his 4th. 8 1/3 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, 15 hits allowed. That ball a little outside, 2-1. He wanted that one. And an 8.64 ERA. And as we mentioned, we got Dalton Vander Ark for the Jetbox out of Davenport making his pitching debut tonight. And another swing and a miss. Nice pitch there again by Castillo. And it's 2-2. We got 2s are wild again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, but it's 1-0 Jetbox. Boy, would Castillo like to get out of this with any further damage done. That right to Scoop. Hard, who scoops it up. It's going to be a foul by Rich. Oh, it was a skosh foul. But there's a reason that his nickname is Scoop. We know his dad, Mark Harden, enjoys the broadcast when his son hit that walk-off in the first ever home game here for the Monarchs against the Leprechauns back on June 7th. Put that clip on social media. Give it a nice little retweet. That high. Count full again. Second batter in a row. Castillo has worked the count full. And you know that Stanton will be moving on this one. And doesn't matter. It's ball 4. So 2 on, 2 out, and up comes the 6th hitter, number 8, Joshua Swiss Family Robinson, the right fielder. He's out of Davenport in DeWitt, Michigan. I want to welcome everyone again watching the broadcast. We know we got Jetbox fans. We know we got obviously tons of Monarchs fans. Maybe some of the Jetbox or the Monarchs peeps up from Alaska. Sorry about that walk-off last night. But you'll get them back tonight in that 118th annual midnight game against the Alaska Gold Panners. I feel like it's a trip that I took to Knott's Berry Farm as a kid and panned for fake gold. That ball not even close. So it's 1-0 on Joshua Robinson. Robinson comes into this game, the .222 average, 3 runs, 4 hits, and 3 ribbies. And got Stanton jumping around on second, trying to get into Castillo's head, and now Ed Marks is stop and play. And talking to, they're going to say, what's the call there? I thought it was 1-0. Yeah, I'll make it 2-1. They were just verifying what the call was, I guess. I thought there was some kind of a issue going on with what Stanton is doing at second. Here's the 2-1. Castillo looks in. Joshua Robinson with 2 on and 2 down. And that skied to center. Jason Dower should be able to end the inning, and he does. But not before the Jetbox get a hit and a run, and they're up 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the first here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. And welcome back in Lake Trust Stadium here, beautiful Clear University, on a great night for baseball yet again. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Monarchs and Jetbox. Stanley Chair with you, my great partner Tom Cavanaugh, on assignment in California. Panning for gold, much like the Alaska Gold Panners have been trying to do against Monarchs North. The majority of this Monarchs team is up in Alaska for a 5-game showcase. They'll play in the 118th edition of the midnight game tonight, 2 a.m. local time, 10 p.m. 2 a.m. local time here, 10 p.m. local time in Alaska. They lost 7-6 in their first game last night, got walked off the whole way until the end against the Gold Panners. And in now, pitching for the Jetbox, Dalton Vander Ark, his first appearance from Davenport University. He's a senior, and leading off is Jacob Gametti, the second baseman. And he chops one towards the second baseman, and ranging down is Zach Jones. He makes the play just in time. And there are a scattering of Jetbox fans who play their home games at Oakwood University, so making some noise for the nice play by the second baseman, Jones. And now up next, number 2, the 2-hitter, number 3 actually, the left fielder, Ethan Rose. Rose comes in with a 500 average, but just has 4 at-bats. He's played in his first game last night. He's one of the new players for this Monarchs team with a bunch of the peeps up there in Alaska. He does have 2 hits, though, in a ribby in last night's game, part of that 4-run 5th inning, and part of the 7-0 win as the Monarchs go for the series win here. Rose takes it low, evens up the count at 1-1. Rose from Middle Tennessee State, a freshman from Milton, Tennessee. Wonder if he likes to go to Bonnaroo. If he does, I'll head over there with him later in June. That ball in for a strike. Good pitch there by Dalton Vander Ark. 1-2 on Ethan Rose. Just underway here, bottom of the first inning. Jetbox got 1 in the first, and they lead it 1-0. And that ball fouled back, staying alive. BG style is Rose. 1-2 with the 1 down here in the first. Here comes Vander Ark looking for the sign, gets it, fires. And that ball chopped towards the first baseman, Colin Priest. So a nice at bat here brewing for Ethan Rose. Remember, it's the second game ever played for the Monarchs. Out of Saginaw Valley State, the sophomore in Ypsilanti, Michigan, is where he hails from. Here's the 1-2. And that ball crushed to right. Will it stay fair? It will not. Just by inches. It is just a loud foul ball, but got to appreciate the hard work that Rose is doing here, staying alive with a 1-2 count. And last night, the majority of the first several batters on both teams were working for behind the count as far as the hitters go. Pitchers were way ahead. Here comes another 1-2. Rose just missed that last one. And that one to the second baseman and makes it easily. So it's Jones to Priest again, and it's 2 up, 2 down for the Monarchs in the first. And now the number 3 hitter, number 9, Jonah St. Antoine, the third baseman out of Pittsburgh University. He's a freshman, and last night was his first ever game, and he didn't play in the field last night. He was a pinch batter until late. And remember, his fellow Pitt Panther, Quentin Konashevsky, might have been part of getting him to play on this team, was phenomenal last night. Takes one inside there, does young Jonah St. Antoine. 1-0, 2 down, no one on base, 1-0 Jetbox here at the bottom of the first. That one down the pipe, but Nick Kavitsky thinks that it's outside, and I'm going to say good call. 2-0 on St. Antoine. And that ball chopped to the shortstop, ranging for it, Dylan Stanton, and he'll make the play, and it's 3 up, 3 down for the Monarchs as we head to the top of the second. 1-0 Jetbox on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Dan Leach back here with you at Lake Trust Stadium. Monarchs trail 1-0 here, top of the second. And coming up from Wabash Valley, one of the best JUCO programs in the country, is third baseman Bruce Jellison. They were 57-13 this year. Gotta love that. Jellison, a sophomore from Highland, Michigan. Could be one of the best players on this team. Takes a strike down the pipe from Castillo. Already has one strikeout. That ball right to to the third baseman, and it's an easy put out there for St. Antoine. And coming up now is Zach Jones, the second baseman. Zach Jones comes into this game yet to register an at-bat, or a hit, excuse me. He's got 8 at-bats, but a 0 average for the Jetbox. And Jones out of Ball State, Muncie, Indiana, the sophomore from Rochester Hills, Michigan. And that outside, 2-0. Steele's looked pretty good, mixing his pitches up. He's thrown some nice fastballs. Had a little trouble in the first. That ball fall back towards us. Makes the count 2-1. Once again, if you're joining us for the first time, the dimensions here at beautiful Lake Trust Stadium, 330 to left and right field. That ball hits him. We had a few hit batters last night, and that one right on the left shoulder. And taking his base is Zach Jones. 330 to the left and right field fences. 420 to the gaps. 440 to straightaway center field into that beautiful Clear University Cougar water tower. And there are 65 feet from home plate behind to that beautiful brick backstop, which you can't see on the feed right now, but it is quite delightful. So run around, one down. And here comes Matthew Meyer, the catcher. Meyer out of Northwood, a junior from Iona, Michigan. Nice area. 0-1 count. Here's Castillo's delivery. That one chopped right towards Scoop Hart. He's going to double. Oh, he did double him off. I thought at first he was going to get back, but what a heads-up play by Scoop Hart at bad base running by Jellison, and there you go. The Monarchs out of it. They'll come right back up and try to get on the scoreboard here. They're trailing 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the second of the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. And welcome back in. We're having a heck of a time as always here in the press box broadcast booth. Got the 4 wise men to my left. Well, maybe 3 wise men. We do have a surprise coming up at the top of the third for the next couple of innings while my partner Tom Cavanaugh's on assignment. Leading off this bottom of the second is best hitter on this team so far, and I think it'll be the whole season, the designated hitter, Sam Thompson, averaging 500, 24 at-bats, 5 runs scored, 12 hits, 9 ribbies. All those numbers I just read to you lead the team except for number of at-bats. Butler leads them, the Monarchs, with 34. So here to lead it off is Thompson, the DH. Out of Michigan State University, takes one down the pipe for a strike. Definitely been impressed so far with Vander Ark in his first start, the Davenport University senior. Here comes the 0-1 to Thompson. And that's inside. That almost hit him. 1-1. Do we know what's Davenport's mascot? Is it the Fighting Iowas? Do we know what their... Find out what Davenport University's mascot is. My guess is the Cheetahs. That's definitely not what it is, but I want to see what it is. 1-1 count. Thompson takes ball 2. Good eye there. I know my nephew, the Owiz, is tuned in. He was an all-star as a 12-year-old Little Leaguer and almost played for a title. Went down in a dramatic semifinal. And a swing and a miss. Don't know if he caught a piece of that. It will be 2-2 here. The Panthers, the Davenport U Panthers. How about the first pro team football-wise in the state of Michigan to make the playoffs in a long time, the Michigan Panthers? I think they had a 500 record. Fortunately, no one really cares about them. But the Lions unveil that new helmet today. They're going to be pretty darn good. And a swing and a miss. Great breaking pitch there by Vander Ark. It just disappeared. Had some movement on it, and that's strikeout number 2 for Dalton Vander Ark. And here comes Connor Cornwell, the catcher. Cornwell batting .286, 6 hits, 3 ribbies, 4 runs scored in 21 at-bats for the Monarchs. So 1 down here in the bottom of the second inning. That one chopped towards first. And a 0-1 count. Got Nick Kubitsky behind home plate and Marks in the field. And that ball outside, 1-1 on Connor Cornwell. Cornwell, Saginaw Valley State University, the sophomore out of Sterling Heights. Appeared in 17 games for SVSU. That one outside, 2-1 on the number 5 hitter, Cornwell. Both pitchers have looked pretty good for the most part. A little trouble for Castillo in the top of the first, line that 1 run. And a swing and a miss. Another nice breaking ball by Castillo. Or check that by Vander Ark. 2-2 count, 1 down, nobody on. 1-0 Jetbox, bottom 2 here at Cleary University. And Lake Trust Stadium, and a swing and a miss. That one disappeared. Unhittable, and strikeout number 3 for Dalton Vander Ark. And here comes the 6 hitter, number 29, Scoop Harden, the first baseman. And Scoop Harden batting .286, 6 hits, 2 ribbies, 4 runs in 21 at-bats. His favorite baseball player growing up, Mike Trout, takes a strike, does Harden. His walk-up song, obviously kick the dust up by Luke Bryan. And his favorite movie, Step Brothers. How can you not love Step Brothers? That ball right down the pipe, and it's an 0-2 count. And as we saw last night, both pitchers working ahead in the count. Tonight, Vander Ark's been working ahead in the count for the majority of these batters so far for the Monarchs. And another swing and a miss. He got 3 strikeouts in the inning, all swings and misses. 4 on the day. As we go to the top of the third, and we'll be joined by a special guest coming up next right here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. And welcome back to beautiful Lake Trust Stadium here at Cleary University. Dan Leach, as I welcome in a very special guest. Let's move your microphone here, and I will give you a fist bump. It is my longtime former intern and longtime best friend, and just a great, great lad, Garrett Primetime Pogramich. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the broadcast, Garrett.
Hey, I appreciate it, Dan Leach. As always, you're kind of padding the stats a little bit. I'm not sure if we're quite best friends yet, but it's nice to move up the ladder a little bit, going from assistant, from the intern position I once held.
You'd be lucky to be my best friend. That's all I'm saying. So I'm already awarding it to you. But Garrett's going to call a couple innings with me here. He's actually going to take the top of the fourth by himself, as Garrett is an aspiring play-by-play man. and worked with me intently at WHMI for the Game of the Week basketball football. Did an incredible job, and now does an incredible job with this Michigan Monarchs squad in their first ever year here in beautiful Howell, Michigan. Here's Shadarov, who's going to lead off the inning and let off the game, swing and a miss there. So it's a 1-2 count. And Garrett, I want to give you a chance to talk about what you're doing for the team. We'll get to that in a minute. But first off, just what are your feelings on this league, this Great Lakes Collegiate Summer League, playing with wooden bats, a lot of talent, pretty awesome stuff, right?
Absolutely. You know, one of the only MLB sanctioned leagues in America that plays with wood bats, allows college kids to get some more experience that they typically wouldn't have playing for their maybe Division I college team.
Here's the 1-2 outside by Castillo on Shadarov. Shadarov came into this game
hitting .266,
Yep.
4-3 ground out in the first inning.
8 hits, 4 ribbies, and 6 for him.
Worked up a full count now.
So here comes the payoff pitch for Castillo, who at times has looked pretty good and struggled a little bit in that first inning when they allowed a run. And that ball sprayed back to the backstop there. And, you know, Garrett, something I've been impressed with this league so far is a lot of really competitive games, a lot of kids that are really excited to be here, and that's all you can hope for.
Absolutely.
Here comes Castillo's payoff pitch. Oh, just a bit outside. He'll walk Shadarov. So the leadoff hitter of the game leads off the third and leads off with a walk. And we know how leadoff walks can kill you.
Absolutely. And, you know, that's one of the things he struggled with in the last outing. He came in for Nathan Riffey, if you remember, Sunday night, and Riffey, you know, allowed a lot of walks as well. Castillo came in, I think, allowed like 3 walks and hit 2 batters. So hopefully he doesn't get into the same place here tonight.
Yeah, he's had some good-looking stuff for much of this start. In his 4th appearance, that ball inside, though. He did hit a batter, as you mentioned, in the last inning. Now up, though, is Cody Holtink, the left fielder. Holtink came into the festivities tonight.
Hitting .250.
Yep,
Struck
250.
out looking in the first inning.
How about so far the first start for Dalton Vander Ark? 4 Ks, 3 of them all in the last inning, and they were all swinging.
It's impressive how these guys kind of find people out of nowhere and then look immediately impressive out of the gate.
Yeah, and that tells you there's a lot of high talent here. That ball high, so 2-0 on the number 2 hitter, number 30, Cody Holtink, playing left field today. So runner on first is Shadarov. 2-0 count for Castillo, getting ready to deliver here to Holtink. And he fires it inside. So, as you mentioned, he did have some control issues in his last appearance.
He's thrown a lot of balls outside. I wonder if he's going to try to throw a breaking ball or maybe a slider to the, inside. Wonder if he throws to the outside this next pitch.
I wonder if he green lights Holtink. Doesn't matter. It's a 4-pitch walk. So now trouble brewing possibly here for the Monarchs. First and second with nobody down. And Garrett mentioned, go ahead.
No, I have
something
nothing
to
to add. Keep going.
Well, you have a lot of things to add. But tell everyone kind of what you are doing for the team, because you really wear about 17 hats. And I've been very impressed with how you've really kind of taken the reins and helped this first-year squad as far as first year and how.
Yeah, I applied immediately for the, originally for the, as we see.
Yeah, we pick up here. There's a beautiful bunt placed down. They're going to try to go for the runner. First they get him, but the runners do advance. That was Penn, who laid down a perfect bunt, advances the runners in second and third with less than 2 outs. Go ahead, Garrett.
So I got hired as a statistician for this team, and immediately Peter Riley, the assistant coach, who's now head coaching today, asked if I would do a litany of things that I felt unqualified for at the time. But, you know, now I feel I have a lot of great experiences working in sales and other things for the team in the offseason, and now hiring interns during the season and such. As we see the first pitch for this next batter.
Yep, Dylan Stanton up here, the cleanup hitter, shortstop, number 23.
Hit a single and an RBI in the last at-bat.
Yep, just batting around 100, though, and he's only had, this is his 12th at-bat. So early stuff for Dylan Stanton out of University of Michigan. Takes a pitch high, 2-0. Yeah, Garrett, I've been very impressed. You've done a lot of different things. You've really helped them get off the ground here, and I know how appreciative Peter Riley and his son Tim, and of course Jim DeSena, the owner, are. So keep up the great work, and this is the perks you get. You get to sit next to a living legend.
I wouldn't put yourself that high, Luigi.
Listen, I'm very humble. There's a strike. That's a nice pitch there for Castillo. That one broke right into the zone, so it's 2-1. But a big situation here for the Jetbox with runners on second and third and just one down. Here comes the 2-1. Outside, 3-1. You don't want to load the bases with just one down, and you wonder what kind of approach Stanton will take here if he's going to try to let Castillo walk him and not swing anything here. And it might be the best situation. Instead, he bats one to left field, and that's going to fall, and it's going to score both. Chugging right behind each other is Shadarov and Holtink. And it is 3-0 Jetbox as they lost this first game of the series 7-0, Garrett. But boy, they're off to a great start here, 3-0.
I hate to beat a dead horse, but the control issues, we're starting to see them here and allowing the Oppo Taco. You see that a lot here at this field, which is interesting. A lot of these hitters hitting to the opposite side of the field from where they usually bat.
Did you trademark Oppo Taco?
I
if
did
you
not.
Did, I would make shirts and hats.
I would too. I might buy one tonight, actually.
Here's Colin Priest. He's a guy right up your alley.
Yeah, very holy individual from what we hear.
Yes, Colin Priest takes a strike. Priest, a freshman from University of Michigan in Mount Dora, the Explorer, Florida. That's where he hails from.
Did you trademark that?
I think I'm going to. And I'm going to probably sell, laptop covers. Laptop covers or lampshades. One of the two.
I need one for my Mac, so I could even.
All right, you got your clear backpack with all your little sayings on it.
I retired the clear backpack.
You retired the clear backpack?
Yeah, I'm rocking the drawstring at the moment.
Oh, for the love of lords. What about the tiny mic? You didn't retire that yet.
No, never.
All right, so it is Priest with a 2-1 counter. Castillo allowing 2 in this inning, 1 in the first, and it's 3-0 Jetbox. And that smack pass, scoop hard at O. I like the attempt there, but it's going to be runners at first and third for the Jetbox. Still one down, and Joshua Swiss Family Robinson, the right fielder, will come up. And Robinson came into this game batting just .222.
Fly out to the center fielder in the first inning.
Yep, so Robinson, another guy with a chance here to improve his average and put some more damage on the board, Garrett.
Absolutely.
Castillo has definitely started to struggle here. First and third, one down, and that ball popped up infield fly rule, so that's the best case scenario pretty much for Castillo there, and a weak swing by Joshua Robinson, now 2 down, Garrett.
I would agree. You got to keep your composure in these instances, and you'll get some lucky breaks like that where the guy doesn't hit the ball exactly the way he wanted to and pop it up in the air.
Now up for the Jetbox is Jellison, Bruce Jellison, number 22, the 7-hitter, the third baseman.
Yet to record a hit for the
Yep,
team.
and he's from this great program, Wabash, this JUCO, and he smacks one towards center. Let's see if they can get him at second. They barely do, ranging around with Sam Baker, and they get the job done. So 2-run score, though. Jetbox up 3-0. Can the Monarchs answer? Garrett, Primetime, Pogrovich, and myself will find out coming up next on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Lake Trust Stadium. Dan Leach alongside Garrett, Primetime Pogrovich. Man that wears many hats for the Monarchs, but also an aspiring broadcaster. Worked with me for a long time at WHMI on our Game of the Week coverage, and a great young kid. And I know your parents are tuned in, and I've met the Pogroviches, quite the jewel of a family.
Oh, yes.
And just want to give a shout-out to your lovely mother and father.
Yes, my mom Susan, and my dad, Deacon Eric Pogrovich, now a bigwig in the Catholic Church
Yeah, I
standard.
heard he's really moving up in the eyes of the Lord.
He's always been kind of high up in the eyes.
Well,
of the
yeah,
Lord,
obviously.
but,
And
a little questionable for me and you, pal.
can the Monarchs get some forward momentum going after not doing much offensively? We'll see, because it starts here with TJ Potkova.
Playing right field, typically a first
Yeah,
baseman.
typically, because you got Scoop Hart at first. And remember, there's only 14 Monarchs here that are not in Alaska, so most of these guys are going to play much of the way. Takes the ball, so it's 2-1.
A lot of these kids just showing up just for the week while the team's in Alaska, and then they're going back to wherever they live.
Here's the 2-1, and that's high, so nice start of the at-bat here for Potkova. TJ Potkova out of Henry Ford Community College. Pretty good player for them, 143 at-bats in his junior season. Here's the 3-1, and he chops it towards the third baseman, Jellison. Jellison makes the play, gets it over to Priestad, and just a loud out for the Monarchs there. And unfortunately, so far tonight, and you got to give credit, obviously, to Dalton Vander Ark at his first start, the Monarchs' offense has been non-existent.
Absolutely. 3 groundouts and 3 swinging strikeouts the last 2 innings, now starting with a groundout. Maybe we're seeing a little bit of a deja vu this inning, maybe.
We are.
Now up is Jason Dower, hitting 142. Just joined the team recently.
Dower, the center fielder, batting 8th.
Foul ball on that first pitch.
3-0 Jetbox here, Garrett. And they had
3-0 with only 3 hits is not ideal.
No, not at all. And we've seen, the Monarchs really kind of dominate in some games. In other games, they've really kind of lost it early. That ball hits them. That hits Dower. That's the second hit batter, one on each team so far. And Vander Ark looks at Dower and apologizes. Obviously, wasn't intentional. There's no previous history that we know of, Garrett.
No, they play at 2 different schools from what I know, so live in 2 different places.
And here comes Sam Baker, the number 9 hitter, the shortstop, and tell people what he's been doing so far this season.
He, only hitting 111. He was batting at the top of the lineup there for a minute. Now batting in the 9th. Coach Peter Riley and Dave Robinson making some adjustments while Sam Baker looks to get his stuff going.
So 1 down, runner on first. Monarchs have yet to get a runner anywhere on the base pass until now. Can they keep it going? That ball way outside, and that should send the runner Dower all the way to second.
Be great if it's a wild pitch.
Yeah, that's got to be a wild pitch. That was well outside the zone. Now a runner on second, 1 down. And I've been impressed, as I mentioned, with Dalton Vander Ark so far, but now, like you saw with Castillo in the last inning, maybe starting to run into a little trouble here.
Like I said, got to keep the composure there. And Castillo, we've seen some issues here as we see the next pitch come in.
Baker sprays one out of foul there. That's my job, Garrett.
I apologize. Hey, it's my first time. I'm still.
I think you're doing great, but you got to let me call the play, and then you are what they're called is a color man. You color inside the lines.
It's more of a color by number for me. I'm not. As
you're
good
doing
as
great. Trust me, your parents should be very proud. Elise and Franklin.
Well, my dad just texted me, really? ? Considering the comment I made about him earlier.
He's a great man. Oh, that another hit batter. Now you got to start wondering if Vander Ark is really losing his composure. Obviously, he's not trying to do this.
We're going to have a little conversation there in the middle.
2 of the last 3 batters have been hit by Vander Ark after looking so sharp through the first couple of innings, and now they're going to meet on the mound. Will Matthew Meyer and the assistant coach Butch Lux.
I'd be surprised if they pull him this early. He's been doing pretty good so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's just two bad situations with a hit batter, but he has looked pretty good. I think they are actually going to go. No, they are going to keep it there. First, I thought I saw Lux make a gesture to the pen.
Right, pulling the ear a little bit, whatever that signal means for their team.
But they're going to keep it. I'll tell you this, if he hits another batter, I think they're going to pull him out of the game. But you do have the biggest threat for the Monarchs so far. 2 on, 1 down. And now they turn the lineup over, and it's Jacob Gametti, the second baseman, number 31, the leadoff hitter, with a chance to put some runs on the scoreboard for the Michigan Monarchs. Here's Vander Ark. He's hit 2 of the last 3 batters. That's not even close, 1-0. And Garrett, you got to wonder when it comes to a guy that was looking so good and then really starting to lose it in spades, how much longer you want to go with him.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't allow stress balls up there, so I think it's more about breathing and keeping your composure.
Sure. And that ball outside, so he is really losing his composure, and I don't want to say confidence. I have no clue if he's losing his confidence right now, but he looked so good the first couple of innings, and now in big trouble with runners on first and second. He's hit 2 batters this inning. Monarchs still have yet to register a hit, though. That one is the 3rd straight ball, and now you're in trouble of loading the bases with just 1 down, Garrett, and that could be a big situation for Rose, St. Antoine, or Sam Thompson.
Yeah, tough to read the facial expressions of the pitcher from this far, but, if I put my binoculars on, I might see a little bit of squinting, a little bit of eyebrows, going down.
Well, you have a tiny mic. Do you have tiny binoculars?
Unfortunately not. My binoculars are normal sized.
Well,
we see another walk.
4 straight pitches there, and he walks them, and now the bases are loaded, and you wonder how much longer the leash is in the eyes of Steve Herbst and Butch Lux.
I do know that Steve Herbst could not make it to the game today, so I know that what's one of their assistant coaches.
Well, I'm sure he's texting. Or maybe on FaceTime. Now they're going to meet at the mound again. I think this is it.
He might be watching our broadcast.
Well, I would hope he is. And if he is, welcome to you, Steve Herbst. Head for the mountains of Herbst Bear. And that's going to do it for Joshua Castillo. Bases loaded, one down. We will take a short break, come right back, give you the final numbers on Castillo. But the Monarchs with a golden opportunity to get some runs on the board, trailing 3-0 here in the bottom of the third of the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back in. Pitching change for the Jetbox after starting in the first couple innings looking really good with 4 Ks, including 3 in the second inning, all swinging. Dalton Vander Ark is out after hitting 2 of 3 batters and then walking another to load the bases with 1 down. And in for him is number 36, Alan Thorington out of Grand Valley State University. Left-handed pitcher, junior out of Pinckney, Michigan. Final numbers on Dalton Vander Ark. 2 innings pitched. No hits, no runs, none earned, and a walk. And also 2 hit batters, did strike out 4. And here comes.
And it could lead to some earned runs if,
Sure.
Ethan Rose is able to get a hit here.
Yep, he is responsible for the runners on first, second, and third. Here's Ethan Rose. Every rose has its thorn. In a great spot to do some damage. Takes a strike down the middle. Rose out of Middle Tennessee State. I know you're a big fan of the Blue Raiders, Garrett. From what I would told, you had Blue Raiders pajamas as a kid.
No, it was Blue Raiders' safety blanket, actually.
My baby blanket's name was Bluey. Rose takes another strike right down the middle, so very kind of cautious in this at-bat with the bases juiced.
Saw the last at-bat one for him, too. Sorry to interrupt.
It's all right, fine, sir. I told you, you're doing a great job. Don't upset your dad. You don't want your dad to be embarrassed of the job you've done tonight. You're starting at such a high level. And a swing and a foul back towards us here in the beautiful Clear University press box. Got to tell you, great field, great press box.
Absolutely.
It really is a great place to have these home games for the Monarchs.
Yeah, and with the turf field, there's no awkward bounces like
Right.
Tom's mentioned a couple times here on the broadcast.
Yeah, a lot different turf for baseball than it is for football. There's big stories on football turf. And that ball smacked into right field. That's going to score a pair. Great stuff by Rose. Coming along to score easy is Baker, and 2 are in, and it's 3-2. What a good at-bat there. Down in an 0-2 hole. Rose smacks one to center field and comes with a timely hit for the Monarchs.
Absolutely. Not his first RBI, not his first 2 RBIs, I should say. He had some yesterday again in his first game that he played for us.
All right, now Jonas St. Antoine, one of the 6 new players for this squad out of Pittsburgh University. His fellow Pitt Panther, Quinn Konashevsky, pitched a gem last night. He was our player of the game, went 5 strong innings in the 7-0 domination of the Jetbox in Game 1. Now a chance to add to the Monarchs' tally, either tie this game or, dare I say, help the Monarchs take the lead.
For all of our Pitt Panthers fans out there, I have to correct you that it is the University of Pitt. It's where my mother graduated from.
Well, guess what? On the notes, it says Pitt U, so I'm going with that. Just kidding. I know it's University of Pittsburgh. And that ball chopped to the first base. Thought about going to second. He's going to get him. Barely gets the play in time, but now it will be a run coming in and tying the game and scoring is Jason Gametti. So it's 3-3, and the Monarchs could do anything offensively. Garrett, guess what? All of a sudden, with some hit batters and a walk, they get 3 to cross the plate. They tie the game here in the third.
Yeah, baseball, it's a game of chess. I like seeing what these pitchers do, back and forth, try to make these minor adjustments to prevent the runs, and sometimes it works, sometimes not so much.
So now the runner on second with 2 down. And up to the plate is Sam Thompson, the best hitter on this team. He'd love to bring in another run and take the lead for the Monarchs. Alan Thornton in relief of Dalton Vander Ark, who just went 2 innings. And that ball outside, 1-1. What have you thought about the level of competition? I know that obviously the Jetbox not with a good record. They come in 1-8, Monarchs 5-6, but the level of competition in this league is pretty good.
Absolutely, it's all Division I and JUCO Division I players. So there is no, even though the record might say one way or the other, all these players are just looking for experience. Similar to my situation, with the getting experience broadcasting here.
Well, working next to me, just by osmosis, you get better. That ball bounced up to the plate, thinking about moving over to third was Rose, but he stays at second.
Smart decision.
Yep, no need to press the issue. You tied the game up here. You got a chance with a base hit to most likely take the lead here. Here's Thompson, 2-1 count. Thornton gets the sign, checks the runner, fires, and chop foul. Oh, they're going to say it's fair. Oh, Kabitsky says it's fair, and that will score. Run of the Monarchs take the lead. And chugging for third of the triple Lindy is Sam Thompson. Boy, he is hitting above 500 now. And all that guy does is drive in runs. That's RBI 10, hit 13. And boy, he is showing that he is going to be a tough out all season, Garrett.
Yep, moves into the top 5 in the league in RBIs, along with, Jake Dresselhaus, who's tied for the most runs in the league. They're having the meeting for, who goes to the All-Star game. The voting process starts in 2 weeks, and I think he's going to be our vote.
Can I stuff the ballot box?
We'll keep you in mind.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. You have to keep me in mind. Just tell me if I can or can't. And that chopped by Cornwell to first. It should end the inning, and it does, but not before the Monarchs score 4 runs and take the lead 4-3. Guess what? Garrett Primetime Pogrovich is really going to make his parents proud. He's taken over solo in the top of the 4th right here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the Monarchs Broadcasting Network. Garrett Pog sitting here with you as Dan Leach is going to try unicycling for the top of the 4th. I hear the Red Pandas out in the parking lot. We'll let you know how that goes. Bottom of the 3rd inning was great for the Monarchs. 2 hits, 4 runs, a lot of hit batters. And now it looks like the Monarchs shifted the momentum, you might say. And Josh Castillo still out there. Lost a little bit of control in this last inning, had some walks, allowed some hits here and there. But with the momentum shift, you got to think the tide might be changing for the Monarchs. As now up to bat is Zach Jones from Ball State, going into his sophomore year. Rochester. Recorded a walk last time out. Yet to record a hit. Maybe not by his own volition if he's able to record some walks for this team. First pitch comes. Fastball outside, wild pitch. And that leads to 1-0. I mentioned that the momentum shift might have changed things for Castillo. Maybe not the case. Second pitch comes in. Another ball. I always I always think about these calls with the ump sometime. Think about, how good of an eye they might really have. But, of course, they're right in front of the plate as he calls that a strike. And I'm back here. So what do I know? Josh Castillo. Maybe relation to Luis Castillo, as it's a second called strike, 2-2 count. Top of the fourth. For just joining us, Monarchs are up 4-3 after a pretty good bottom of the third. Swinging strike, that is going to be a strikeout for Castillo. Strikeout swinging. I believe his second of the day. Now coming up is Matt Meyer. No relation to Michael Myers. Hitting 083. Got a pop up to the third baseman. That led to the double play in the second inning. It's going to be a ball outside. Feels like a lot of the off-speed pitches are in the zone, but a lot of these fastballs are kind of wild and out of place, you might say. So it's 2-0 now. One inside, one outside. Pitches coming in quick. Remind you that even though that there's not a visible clock inside the stadium, they are playing using pitch clock rules, which they'll be playing once they get to college, or if they're not in college already. And a lot of people have different opinions on the way both the college game has changed, as there's a walk for Matt Meyer. We talked about the walk, the control issues, I should say, for Josh Castillo in the past. Is now the top hitter for the Jet Box, Michael Shadarov. What a walk and scored in the third inning. Like I mentioned, a lot of these rules that are changing for, you know, the college game and the baseball game in general with the pitch clock and the transfer portal. Say what you want about them, but it does make the game quicker. It makes it better for, in my opinion, for fans, as that ball is going to be fouled out. Might hit my car. And the transfer portal, a lot of opportunities for agents to get involved with NIL deals. Creates a lot of jobs. Just my take. As now 0-2, he throws. And it's a swinging strikeout. The second of the inning for Josh Castillo. Runner on first to Matt Meyer, the catcher. Now coming up to the plate, Cody Holtink. Walked and scored in the third inning as well. Castillo starting to get back into his groove a little bit. Waiting on a sign from catcher Connor Cornwell. First pitch comes in, swinging strike. Big thank you to all of our fans who have showed up in attendance. One of the worries internally we had here was, you know, whether the Howell Michigan crowd, as that's a called strike 0-2, how long it would take for, you know, for this Howell community to embrace us. And we knew they would embrace us eventually, just a matter of the timing, as we're seeing a wonderful hug from the Howell community. That's going to be a swinging strikeout, the end of the inning, and that is going to be all for the top of the fourth. We will be joined back by myself and Dan Leach for the bottom of the fourth. You are listening to the Michigan Monarchs Broadcasting Network. Stick around.
And welcome back in, Dan Leach alongside Garrett Primetime Pogramich. I know you introduced yourself as Garrett Pog. I would go with Pogramich.
I think Pog is easier to.
I mean, it's up to
market.
you. It's your name, but I just think that Primetime Pogramich sounds great. And I know that your mom, Susan, which is my mom's name is Susie, and your dad, King Elvis, what was his name again?
Deacon Eric.
Yes, Deacon Eric. Very proud of you. I put an instant poll up with the job you did in that top of the fourth. You already got A-minuses. Now, only your parents have voted so far, but I think by the time there's 100 or so votes, maybe you'll still have an A-minus.
Hey, that's some dedication. My parents, not the biggest social media people, so.
Very proud of you. And how about very proud of Joshua Castilla? He had 3 strikeouts that inning. He's got 4 now.
Absolutely.
And the Monarchs continue to lead it 4-3. Back in for the Jetbox, Alan Thornton on relief for the all of a sudden wild Dalton Vander Ark. He could not keep his balls into that arc, Garrett. He wanted it 2-by-2, but instead he hit 2 batters of 3 and then walked the third, or the fourth of those 4 batters. That one smacked to third. What a dive by Bruce Jellison. Wow, he can't make the play, but he could have allowed an extra base there. And instead, he at least keeps the Monarchs runner to first base. And that was Scoop Harden, of course. So 1 on, nobody out, and after nothing offensively, Garrett, for the Monarchs for the first 3 or 2, they really got it going in the third, and now looking for more. That ball outside, 1-0 on TJ Potkova.
5-3 ground out in the third inning.
Just batting 167. I know he wants to improve on that. Potkova from Henry Ford Community College, the Fighting Model Ts. He smacks one into the gap between left and center, and on his horse is Holtank. He'll make it. So now runner on first with 1 out. And that, I think, was an important batter, Garrett, for Thornton, because it looked like maybe he was starting to lose it.
Absolutely. You got to remember that this field kind of blows out in the gaps. It's 420, I believe, at the far gap, so allowed some more room for the outfielders to run. And, if not, we might have a different story, maybe bouncing off the fence in a normal ballpark.
So now up is
Jason Dower.
Yep, Jason Dower, the center fielder, the number 8 batter. And Dower batting just 143, but really just starting to play for this team.
Yeah, started last night. Third inning was hit by pitch and scored. Part of that Dalton Vander Ark. Maybe missing some 2x4s on the Noah's Ark.
That's for sure. Maybe some llamas, too. That one sprayed foul. Evens the count at 1-1. 1 down, 1 on. It's Potkova at first. Or check that, Scoop Harden at first. Potkova hit that loud out into the gap in left and center. And once again, if you're just joining us, gaps in this field are the distances 330 to left and right, 420 to the gaps, 440 straightaway center field. And taking a chance on a steal is Harden, but doesn't matter. It's foul ball off to the right. So 1-2 here. Garrett with 1 down. And what do you think about young Jason Dower as he becomes a member of this team?
It's tough to tell if he's one of the players that is only here for the week or if not, but, he's one of these players with great range in the outfield.
Yeah.
In terms of his hitting, we've yet to see kind of some pop in that bat, but, it's still early in the season. There's only, 8 weeks in a season, 39 games, so not a lot of time for these players to kind of get up and going. So we'll see how he does.
Dower out of Point University, senior from Alpharetta, Georgia, at 91 at bats, 231 average. Senior year for Point U. Here's the 1-2, takes it outside. So Thornton now with a 2-2 count on the number 8 hitter, Jason Dower. Scoop Harden at first. 4-3 Monarchs here in the bottom of the fourth. It's been great having Garrett Primetime Pogramich join the broadcast. He'll do it for the next couple of games while my partner in crime, Tom Cavanaugh, is out in Caliland. That one to third and scooped up by Jellison. To second, do they turn 2? They don't, but it was pretty darn close there, and you got to give credit to Jellison, who's got a lot of range. Brooks Robinson style third base.
Absolutely. Very fast throws, but Jason Dower just fast enough to get to the base. Very close call.
So now it's a runner on first with 2 down. And up is the number 9 hitter, Sam Baker.
Part of that barrage of being hit by pitches and scoring here in the third inning, now coming back in the fourth.
So Dower on first, 2 down, Baker up. Baker takes a ball, almost went around there.
Good check.
Sam Baker so far on the season. Check that, it's back, it's hit back to the foul area. Baker batting just 111 coming into the game tonight. So it's a 1-1 count. We're here in the bottom of the fourth. Dan Leach alongside Garrett Primetime Pog. So I call him Pog Sandwich. 1-1, 2 outs, runner on first, and that ball chopped back. Will it have room for Meyer? It will not. And that'll be a 1-2 count now on the number 9 hitter, Sam. The Baker did it.
Absolutely waiting to see. We've had 2 quick outs and a base runner here. Very quick inning, just despite all the pitches being thrown.
Last night we had a bunch of quick innings in the early part. That smash into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit for Baker. The candlestick maker. Now you got 2 on with 2 down, and coming up, the leadoff hitter, Jacob Gametti. And Gametti, I know he grounded out and also walked and scored, correct?
That is correct. And you never fail to amaze me with all the quick names you come up with, not only for me, but for all the
there's a reason that, and I say this with humility, I'm beloved. Am I perfect? No. Am I great? Yes. Am I humble? Of course.
3 good traits to have.
2 down, 2 on, and there goes the runner from second and into center field. Will that drop? It will, and that's going to easily score. Jason Dower, great heads-up base running and chugging for third, and in there without a play is Sam Baker, then coming over and scoring is Gametti. Unbelievable base running there. Check that, Baker, and then back to third. Wow. They do get him at third, but what aggressive base running by the Monarchs there, and both Dower and Baker come all the way around and score, and the Monarchs take a 6-3 lead. They are doubling up the jet box here as we head to the top of the 5th. Garrett, great job by you. Come back and do some more tomorrow on Sunday. Very proud of you. We'll come back here at the top of the 5th on the Michigan Monarchs Radio Network. And welcome back in to Lake Trust Stadium. Dan Leach here. Great job by Garrett Primetime Pogridge. Got to see some excitement at 6 runs scored while he was calling the games. He'll come back tomorrow, do the same thing as well as Sunday, while Tom Cavanaugh, my great partner in crime, is on assignment out in California, attending to rocket ships. Back in is Joshua Castillo. He struck out 3 in that last half inning. He's got 4 on the night, and he is starting to deal. And what once was a 3-0 Jetbox lead is now a 6-3 deficit. Caden Penn is up. He did score a run and walked in his first at-bat. That outside, now 3-0. For Joshua Castillo now working in the 5th. Here's the 3-0. And that's a strike right down the middle, according to Nick Kabitsky. We also have my man Ed Marks in the field, right around first base. I want to welcome in everyone around the country and around the world. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there by Castillo. And now it's a full count for Caden Penn, the designated hitter today. Penn out of Calvin College, a senior. And he's going to walk him. This Castillo. You know, Castillo at times tonight has looked really good. At other times has kind of lost control. But I know that he is more of the variety of what happened last inning, where he did allow a hit, but also struck out 3. Has 4 on the game, and now up is the cleanup hitter, Dylan Stanton, number 23, the shortstop. Out of University of Michigan in Richmond, Michigan. He hits him. That is the fourth hit batter tonight, 2 by each team. And that's going to put runners on first and second with nobody out. And out to talk to Castillo is Connor Cornwell for the second time tonight. And after looking so good last inning, now some struggles, much like Thornton had for the Jetbox in the last half frame. So nobody down, the first two on, and here comes Kellen Priest, the first baseman. Priest with a hit in his first at bat and a walk in his second. And now Ed Marks is a walk. They say a balk. We had a balk last night. We have our first Monarchs balk at Lake Trust Stadium. And Castillo discussed, he said he moved his head. You can see him right there on the frame there if you're watching the video feed. So that is a rare balk. We did have one last night on the Jetbox. So second and third, nobody down, and here comes Priest. Hope that Castillo doesn't get rattled. He sure didn't look rattled there. Strike right down the pipe. 0-1 here on the number 5 hitter and the first baseman, Colin Priest. Here's Castillo's delivery. That one a little outside, 1-1. The Jetbox trying to come right back after the Monarchs took a 6-3 lead in the last half frame. And that ball just on the border. I know Castillo wanted that one. 2-1 now on Priest. Priest just a 182 average on the season so far. Another Michigan Wolverine, and he swings and fouls that one back towards us in the beautiful Clear University press box. So the count now 2-2 on Colin Priest with runners on second and third. It's Penn at third and Cody Holtink at second. Or check that, Stanton at second. I apologize. That ball caught by the center fielder Dower, going back and not being able to tag and score is Penn. So there you go. There's a good first out. Ups the percentages of not allowing a run here in this half inning. So now with one down, it's Joshua Swiss Family Robinson, the right fielder. Robinson so far on the night, 0 for 2, batting just 200 on the season. Right at the Mendoza line. Remember, this is the 10th game for the Jetbox. They're 1-8, and it's the 12th game for the Monarchs. They're 5-6. And that outside, 1-0 with runners on second and third still, but now 1 down. Steele trying to get through a high leverage situation. This probably will be the end of the night, you would think, for Joshua Castillo. You'd love to get out of it with no runs given up. That one outside, 2-0. Now an important pitch against the number 6 hitter and right fielder Joshua Robinson for Joshua Castillo. Can he get another short fly ball that won't allow Penn to tag at third? Here's the 2-0. And that outside now 3-0, and you wonder if the green light's been given by Butch Lux, the Jetbox coach, to Joshua Robinson, a la Miggy Cabrera back when he played for the Florida Marlins. And the 3-0's outside doesn't matter, and the bases are now juiced full of Jetbox. What exactly is a Jetbox? Is that a box that encloses a jet? Is it a pizza box? You think it's a pizza box? I think there's no chance that's true, but if you don't mind doing some research on that and finding out what a Jetbox is, I would really appreciate it. Because if the Jetbox were sponsored by Jets Pizza, I would like a piece of pizza right now. I'm pretty hungry. I've only had chicken today. I'm eating really healthy, going on 4+ mile walks. It's been a great return to health for me coming off my hernia surgery. As there, Tim Riley's father, Peter Riley, at the mound with the majority of the Monarch squad. And just to remind everyone, if you're just tuning in for the first time, the majority of this Jetbox, or this Monarchs team, is up in Alaska playing a 5-game showcase. They got walked off last night to the Alaska Gold Panners. Yes, you heard that right. Their name is the Alaska Gold Panners. And they'll play in this 118th edition of the midnight game tonight, 2 a.m. local Michigan time, 10 p.m. local Alaska time, in the revenge game against the Gold Panners. All right, so here's the situation. Bases juiced, full of Jetboxes. 1 out. Castillo's pitch is outside on Bruce Jellison. Jellison, the 7 hitter, and third baseman out of Wabash. They're 57-13 this season. Jellison has yet to register a hit on the season, just started playing for the Jetbox. He takes the ball, so now 2-0, and another huge pitch coming up for Joshua Castillo here in the top of the fifth. The Monarchs up 6-3. They've scored 6 straight runs, but they don't want to give any up here, and that ball outside 3-0, and you don't want to walk in a run here if you're Castillo. Here comes the 3-0. Bases juiced. Down the middle strike. And I've been told the Jetbox are a shipping company based out of Trinidad and Tobago. And Trinidad and Tobago, or Tobago, excuse me, they like to play the U.S. men's national team in the CONCACAF stuff. That ball fouled back, so Castillo has worked the count full, and this is probably the most important pitch of the game so far. Full count, bases juiced, one down. If he could somehow strike him out or induce a inning-ending double play, boy, you feel good if you're the Monarchs. Here comes the payoff. Oh, and he hits him. That's the 5th hit batter. 3 by the Monarchs, 2 by the Jetbox, and coming in and scoring is Penn. And it's now 6-4, and the bases are still juiced. And still one down. I think that's going to be it for Joshua Castillo, as David Robinson, nope, not the former Spur, but our great coach, is out to, I think, take the ball from him. We'll see. And giving him some words of encouragement, and does take the ball, and he did pitch pretty well for much of his appearance. But that's going to do it on Castillo. We'll get to the final numbers on Joshua Castillo and let you know who's coming in next when we come back right here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. And welcome back. Dan Leach here with you at beautiful Lake Trust Stadium. Nathan Reif is in relief of Joshua Castillo. Final numbers on Castillo. 3 innings pitched, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 5 walks, 1 strikeout. And did have 3 hit batters. He faced 16. Bases still loaded, 6-4 Monarchs. Here's Reif, who so far on the season I don't want to report his ERA, but he has pitched 2 2/3, giving up 9 earned runs, 2 hits, and 8 walks. And down 0-2 is the 8-hitter Zach Jones. Zach Jones, out of Ball State. I know Mark Champion, one of my mentors. Be very proud of young Jones from Rochester, Michigan. So an 0-2 count. Reif trying to get out of the jam. Castillo is responsible for. All 3 runners are Castillo's. Here's the sidewinder in. That's right back to Reif. Reif is going to go home, and he'll get it out there, and 2 down. And no run scoring, as out at the plate is Dylan Stanton. So that's just what the doctor ordered, and now Reif can clean up Castillo's mess and get out of this thing with just 1 run scored. Boy, would that make you feel good if you're a Monarch after just dominating offensively for a couple straight innings after being down 3-0, scoring 6 straight. And I believe we have a pitch hitter. So we've got a pitch hitter for Matthew Meyer, and that is Liam Pollock. So Meyer, the catcher, is down, and Pollock is in. And now Pollock trying to do some damage. Rife outside on that one. On the lefty, Liam Pollock out of Oakland University gets to play his home games for the Jetbox at his university, the sophomore from Auburn Hills, right where Oakland U is. Not a far drive for this man. Hopefully he's living at home with the parents. And that outside 2-0, runners are in motion, seemingly with every movement with Rife towards the mound with 2 down here. Bases full of Jetbox. Here comes Rife's 2-0. And he can't find it there. It's 3-0. He already walked in 1 run. You don't want to walk in 2. It's 6-4 Monarchs here in the bottom, or check that, the top of the 5th. Such an important moment of the game here, and obviously Butch Lux felt a reason to bring in Pollock as the pinch batter, and it is a 4-pitch walk. Second walk-in of a run this inning. Castillo did it the first time, and now Rife does it the second time, and bases still juiced, but now just a 1-run game, and the lineup is turned over. Shadarov, the leadoff hitter, is up now. He's batting .258 on the season, which is good enough for second best for this 1-8 Jetbox team. Already does have a run scored and a walk. And the first pitch low and outside for Rife. Obviously a high leverage situation for Rife, the John Logan College product, the sophomore from Troy, Michigan. 1-0 the count here on Michael Shadarov. And he almost hits him. Then the 6-hit batter. Oh, they're going to say he did hit him. It is Nick Kabitsky awarding him first, and there you go. That is the 6th hit by a batter. The 4th for the Monarchs. 2 for the Jetbox. And we are tied. Yesterday, 7-0 win for the Monarchs. Konashevsky and the Monarchs pitching staff could have been much better. Tonight, both pitching staffs have had massive issues with finding the zone and hitting batters and walking batters. A total scallywag fest here at Lake Trust Stadium. Still 2 down, bases still juiced, and now Cody Holtink up. Rife down the middle for a strike, an important pitch there. Holtink, batting .240 on the season, has scored a run, walked, and struck out so far tonight here in the top of the 5th. 3 on the board for the Jetbox. Rife trying to limit the damage here to just the 3. And a swing and a miss. Great pitch there, the fastball by Nathan Rife. He's 1 strike away from getting out of this jam, which of course he inherited, coming in with the bases loaded and 1 down. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and a swing and a foul tip. Just staying alive BG style is Cody Holtink. Holtink out of University of Michigan, the junior from Battle Creek. I'm sure he's a big Rice Krispies fan. How can't you be if you're from Battle Creek? Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. 0-2, I'm a clown, but that's why I'm beloved. That's the bottom line. 0-2, 2 down. Can he get him? That ball into center field should be a play for Shadarov, and it is. And the Jetbox are out, but not before not before scoring 3 and tying the game. We've had 2 crooked numbers in this game so far. We're tied at 6, heading to the bottom of the 5th here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Lake Trust Stadium. Dan Leach here with you. My great partner Tom Cavanaugh on assignment out in California. He's entered a surfing competition for the week. He'll be back for our home game coming up next Friday. Or I'm sorry. Yes, next Friday, June 30th. Jetbox scored 3 in that inning. Tie the game at 6. We've had 6 hit batters in this one, 4 by the Monarchs, 2 by the Jetbox. And back on the bump for the Jetbox, Alan Thorington for his 3rd inning in relief of Dalton Vander Ark, who had pitched great in the first couple, but then really struggled in the 3rd and 4th. And went out for Thorington in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss there by Ethan. Every rose has its thorn. Rose with a run scored, a hit, 2 ribbies, batting .500 on the young season for him. He was part of that 4-run explosion for the Monarchs in the bottom of the 3rd. 0-2 count, though, on Rose here as Thorington looks in. Fires, and that ball outside, 1-2. Really is a beautiful night for baseball. It's been steamy the last couple of days, but it's cooled off here after game time. The majority of the stadium, the way it's set up for this time of year, is in the shade, and that ball sprayed foul into right field. So it's perfect if you want to come out here to beautiful Lake Trust Stadium. You're not going to be sitting in the sun, which I cannot stand. I'll just be honest. Even when I, for a long time, was covering the Detroit Tigers for 97 on the ticket, I never enjoyed the day games. I mean, obviously I was in the press box, but there was times where I'd go out and meander and mingle with the fans and the fellow security peeps. That ball sprayed foul. Still 1-2 on Ethan Rose. But I, as a baseball fan, going to whether it's a Tigers game, a minor league game, whatever, I do not like being in the sun. And if you come out to Lake Trust Stadium, first off, tickets are very inexpensive. $7, great snacks, great atmosphere. You're going to be in the shade the whole time. And that outside, now 2-2 on Ethan Rose. Thorington has had some pretty good control since he's been in. He did allow a run, but other than that, he's looked solid. That outside on the lefty Rose, now the count full. We are deadlocked at 6-4 for the Monarchs in the bottom of the 3rd, 2 in the bottom of the 4th, and 3 in the top of the 5th after a 1-0 lead in the top of the 1st for the Jetbox, and we're tied at 6. And striking out looking is Ethan Rose. The slider there gets him, and 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th. And here comes Jonah St. Antoine. St. Antoine with a ribby in this one in that 4th inning. Has yet to register a hit on the season. Remember, he just joined this team yesterday, one of the 6 new players. And he takes a look at a strike from Alan Thorington. This is the middle game of the 3-game set against the Jetbox. Monarchs win this, they'll win the 3-game series, as they won 7-0 last night beyond the great pitching of Quinn Konashevsky and timely offense by the Monarchs. And remember, the majority of this team up in Alaska right now, playing a 5-game showcase, including playing tonight at 2 a.m. local in the 118th version of the midnight game in Alaska. It's a big deal up there. That ball inside, 2-1 on the number 3 hitter, Jonah St. Antoine from University of Pittsburgh, as Garrett says. Listen, Charlie Batch almost went there, my classmate at Eastern Michigan. I'm all about that. So did Dan Marino. There's a reason. That's why I'm called Dan the Man, so I'm all about it. You got to love former Michigan State Spartan coach as the head coach of the Pitt Panthers football program. Here's the 3-1, and it's a strike down the middle. Count is full on Jonah St. Antoine. Pat Narduzzi, of course, that former Michigan State offensive or defensive coordinator. He's going to walk him. So a good at-bat there by St. Antoine in one of his early at-bats here. He's a new member of this team, so we got a runner on first, 1 down. And now up Sam Thompson, one of the best hitters in the Great Lakes Collegiate Summer League. Sam Thompson averaging .500 on the season, already with a hit and a ribby tonight. Didn't strike out as well. But a chance to do some damage and get the Monarchs back on top here in the bottom of the fifth, tied at 6. Great to have you along, no matter whether you're a friend, family member, foe, cousin, former roommate, model, waiter, waitress, film star, harlot, I don't care. We love you. Follow me on Twitter, by the way, as always, at Dan Leach, DTM. Runner off, and a steal is on and in safely, and getting there with his first stolen base for the Monarchs, Jonas St. Antoine. Nice base running there by the freshman from University of Pittsburgh. So now runner in scoring position with one down. And Sam Thompson will try to bring him home. Gotta love Sam Thompson, already with 10 ribbies on the year, 13 hits. Scored 5 runs, and he's batting .500. It's like Louis Arez from the Miami Marlins. 3 5-hit games already. The record, by the way, which Ty Cobb holds part of it, is 4 5-hit games in one Major League season. It's June. Here's the 1-0. Excuse me. 2-0. I had some Cocoa Puffs that went down the wrong pipe there. I apologize. Boy, are they tasty, though. 2-0 here on Sam Thompson, looking to get the Monarchs back on the right side of the ledger. Here's the delivery from Thornton. And chops it to third. Holding the runner is Jellison, and throwing to first and putting out Sam Thompson for the second out of the inning. But still a chance here as Connor Cornwell comes up. Cornwell with a strikeout and a ground out, batting .261 on the season. And he is the possible last hope here in the fifth to get back on top for the Monarchs. 2 down, runner on second is Jonas St. Antoine. He stole second base and now put himself in scoring position. A base hit should score. He's a speed demon. He's going for third. Does he have a second steal? He does. In there, in time. What a move by Jonas St. Antoine. The cool kids call him JSA. Obviously, that's me. And he is at third now, just 90 feet away, with Cornwell, the catcher, at the plate, looking to bring him home, Les Miserables style. He sprays that one to right field. Will it stay fair? It will not. And it's just a loud strike, 0-2 on Cornwell. Cornwell from Saginaw Valley State University. Sophomore from Sterling Heights, Michigan. Nice area. 0-2. 2 down. Trying to get back on top for the Monarchs here is Cornwell at the plate with St. Antoine at third. And he sprays that foul. Stays alive, 0-2. Got to give credit to the youngster and the brand new player as of yesterday, the freshman Jonas St. Antoine. He's still second, still third. Can he steal home? Is the suicide squeeze going to get put on here? A la Jim Leland back in the day. And that down the pipe, and wow, borderline pitches call the ball, so maybe a little luck there by Jonas St. Antoine. Looked like a strike to me. Nick Kavitsky's calling a great game behind the plate. Ed Marks always does a great job. He'll be behind the plate tomorrow, I believe. St. Antoine thinking about going home, and that's high for ball 2. 2-2, 2 outs, runner on third, 6-6. We got ties everywhere. And a huge water tower, which I still want to climb and do a broadcast from. And outside, oh, it's going to be a strike. That sure looked like it was a ball. And he can't believe it, does Cornwell, but that's the end of the inning. Job done by Thornton. We head to the top of the 6th, tied at 6 on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Lake Trust Stadium. Dan Leach here with you. My great partner Tom Cavanaugh on assignment out in California. Working on some climate change initiatives. He'll be back next Friday for the game against the Clip Joint. All right, here we go. Top of the 6th inning. Back in for the Monarchs is Nathan Reif. He came in for Castillo. Tied at 6. He throws one to nobody. That all the way back to the backstop. Elijah the Prophet didn't even catch that one. It is 65 feet from the home plate dish to this beautiful brick backstop in front of us here in the press box. 1-0 here. And that low as well on Caden Penn. Caden Penn, the number 3 hitter and designated hitter for the Jetbox. Penn so far tonight with a run scored, a walk, and a ground out, batting .364, one of the best averages on this Jetbox team, one of the only averages above .250. There's a strike. 2-1 on Caden Penn. Penn from Calvin College, a senior from Washington Township. Here's the 2-1. Rifles it in, and it's a foul back to the backstop. 2-2. 4 in the bottom of the 3rd for the Monarchs after going down 1-0 in the top of the 1st. 2 in the bottom of the 4th, and then 3 in the top of the 5th for the Jetbox. Ties us at 6. That one, another very questionable delivery. Reif at times looks so in control, and at others, seems like he doesn't know where he wants to go with the ball. Has that sidearm delivery a la Dan Quisenberry. 3-2, the count is full. And, a little high there. Looked like it might have dropped, but it did not, and Penn will take his bag. And we can't stress enough, as we talked about, me and Tom Cavanaugh when he's here, and myself when I've called the games alone, leadoff walks, man. They come back to haunt you so often. Now Dylan Stanton, the shortstop, out of University of Michigan, the senior from Richland, Michigan. Stanton 2 hits on the night, 3 ribbies. He was a big part of that 3-run inning in the top of the 5th. And he takes the ball outside. Here's Reif. As I mentioned, I want to mention Reif's ERA. It's not good. It's less than 40 and more than 25. But it's still early. That ball sprayed foul. Third base side, 1-1. Six game. Caden Penn on first. Here's Stanton in the dish with a 1-1 count, and here comes the delivery from Nathan Reif. Reif fires it in for a strike, and it's now a 1-2 count. And Nathan Reif's favorite baseball player growing up. He kind of looks like a little mini Max Scherzer. It was Max Scherzer. Favorite hobby, golfing. And favorite sports movie, Benchwarmers. Top level kid, this Nathan Reif. And that ball batted towards the gap in left and center. It's going to drop. Ethan Rose can't make the play and then gets it into third and in safely to second with a sliding double is Stanton, and Penn at third, and now the Jetbox in business with 2 on, both in scoring position and nobody down. And now Reif's really got to button it up because he's got the cleanup hitter. Or check that, he's got the number 5 hitter, Colin Priest, the first baseman, who's got some pop. That pitch low, 1-0. This has been a back and forth affair so far tonight here from Lake Trust Stadium. While the rest of the Monarchs are up in Alaska, probably enjoying some time at the beach right now before their game tonight. And that ball popped up a mile in the air. Will there be room for Baker, or check that, for St. Antoine? There is not. Cannot hold on to it, and everyone is safe, and it's just a 1-1 count. He almost was able to get to it at the last moment, wasn't able to, and the new member of the team gave a great effort there, Jonas St. Antoine. But just 1-1 now with Priest at the dish. Nobody out, second and third for the Jetbox. 6-6 game here, top of the 6th. 6-6-6, Devil's Lettuce. That ball outside, 2-0. So many walks and hit batters tonight by both squads. Here comes the 2-1. And that chop foul, so the count even at 2. This will be a good first out if you're Nathan Reif and the Monarchs. Got to find a way to get out Priest without allowing a run to score. Strikeout, obviously, your best option here. 2-2 delivery coming. Reif gets set, fires it in, and that ball sculled to right field. I think it's got room, and it does, for a catch by TJ Potkova, but tagging and scoring is Penn, so the Jetbox take the lead back for the first time since the 4th inning. And there you go. It is 7-6. It was a nice move there by Potkova to catch the ball, but no way he could have got that ball in on the tagging Caden Penn. Now you got a runner on third with 1 down and a 7-6 game. And up now for the Jetbox, Joshua Robinson takes a strike. Oh and 1 on the Swiss Family Robinson. And down the middle for strike number 2, 0-2 on Joshua Robinson. Reif really could use a strikeout here. Stanton at third. Stanton at third. Would love to come home if you're a Jetbox fan. That one outside, 1-2. But the Jetbox have taken the lead back. They led 1-0 in the top of the first and found themselves down. Tied in the third, but then the Jetbox relinquished that lead in the 5th. But got it back, or got the game tied in the 5th, and now have taken the lead in the 6th. And it's 7-6. Monarchs trail here. And a 2-2 pitch coming up. And that ball, just a borderline pitch for Robinson. It's 3-2. Runner on third, 1 down. Reif still looking for that elusive strikeout. Here comes the payoff pitch, 3-2 on Joshua Robinson. And he chops it right back to Reif. Reif's going to go to third, and will they get him? They will get him at third. It was a delayed reaction for a second by Ed Marks, but makes the right call. And that was an excellent way to stop the momentum of the Jetbox there. Could have had first and third with 1 down. Instead, it's a runner on first with 2 down. And now coming up is number 22, the 7-batter and third baseman, Bruce Jellison out of Wabash, one of the best JUCO programs in the country. And Tom Cavanaugh did a great job explaining that yesterday, that why are there so many good JUCO players and so much JUCO talent? Because there's not the rules that the NCAA has. That one right to the third baseman, St. Antoine, and that's going to do it. So they do go a run to the Monarchs, but they will come to bat here with a chance to get back in the lead. They trail 7-6 as we head to the bottom of the 6th here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back. Dan Leach here with you from beautiful Lake Trust Stadium. Jetbox got a run there in the top of the 6th, take the lead back after trailing by 3 at the end of the 4th. Scoring 4 straight to take the 7-6 lead. Now Scoop Harden up to lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th for the Monarchs, trying to get this game tied or take the lead back. Back on the mound for the Jetbox, Alan Thornton, out of Grand Valley State University, junior for Pinckney, Michigan. It's pitched pretty solidly so far for the Jetbox. Came in a high leverage situation. Ball fouled back by Scoop Harden. Thornton, 1 2/3 pitch so far, has allowed 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned. And that one in there for a ball. 1-1 count here on Scoop Harden, who had a walk-off hit in the first ever home game here for the Monarchs at Lake Trust Stadium. Here's the 1-1. That inside for ball number 2. Mark Harden's favorite post-game meal, she'd love to have if the Monarchs come back at this one, is Chipotle. Order me a steak burrito, please. And that ball smacked into the 5-6 gap. Harden's going to get out safely and leads off the inning with a nice base hit for the Monarchs. And here comes TJ Potkova. Chance to get a rally going here. Potkova so far tonight. Has grounded out and flown out. And he's showing bunt, and they're going to say no. That ball went foul first, so just a strike on Potkova. Batting just 154 on the season, but in a big spot here with a leadoff single by Scoop Harden. And I have been apprised that my nephew, the great O-Wiz, all-star of his Little League Baseball squad at 12 years old, is watching the broadcast and wants me to give a shout-out to his great YouTube channel, Peace Plays. Shout-out Peace Plays. And checking the runners, Thornton, Scoop Harden back easily. Potkova came into this game with just 2 hits on the season, does have 4 ribbies and a run scored, but just playing his 5th game, which is about half the average of the team. Here's the 0-1. That ball sprayed into right center, and it's going to be an easy catch there for Joshua Robinson, and that's 1 down. Harden remains at first, and here comes Jason Dower, the number 8 hitter, the center fielder. Dower batting just 143 on the season, but also has only played in a few games coming into tonight. Remember, there's only 14 Monarchs that are here as we have a meeting of the minds at the mound with Butch Lux coming out, and I don't think this is going to be the end of the night for Thornton, but they're going to discuss what they want to do here with Potkova, who usually plays first but is in right field tonight, and obviously a lot of that to do with the shortened roster of this Monarch squad, where most of these guys are going to play pretty much the entire game, while the Monarchs North split squad is up in Alaska. All right, so instructions given by Butch Lux. He's back to the dugout, and here is Potkova, the right fielder, with a runner on first and 1 down, 7-6. The Jetbox lead it here in the bottom of the 6th. And that ball smacked into center field. On his horse is Shadarov, makes the catch easy, and that's 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. And it's up now to Jason Dower. Or check that, to Sam Baker. That was Dower on the flyout. Sam Baker with the chance here to try to keep something going here in the bottom of the 6th with the Jetbox back in the lead, 7-6. Sam Baker, the candlestick maker, the junior from Point U, Georgia, and hails from Prattville, Alabama. Nice area. Takes the ball outside. 1-0 with 2 down, runner on first. And the Monarchs trailing by 1 on a beautiful night here in Howell, Michigan. Great to have you along for the broadcast. Once again, you can follow me on Twitter at DamageGTM. I'll always respond to you. You can give praise or threats or whatever you want on this broadcast. I'm sure everyone will enjoy themselves and send messages of love and peace. You can also get Tim Riley, my good friend, on Twitter at thetimrileyistheking.org. Completely made that up. He just had a tasty Jimmy John sandwich. One of these days, that ball sprayed into And a great diving catch, man. I thought that was going to go into center field. What a catch by Zach Jones to end the inning. And the Jetbox gaining more and more momentum. We head to the top of the 7th. Is the Jetbox up 7-6 here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. And welcome back in, Dan Leach here. Beautiful Lake Trust Stadium. We start at the top of the 7th with a brand new pitcher for the Monarchs. When I say brand new, he literally is here on his first day. It's number 25, Derek Boers, the right-handed pitcher from Saginaw Valley State University. He will take over in relief of Nathan Reif and Joshua Castillo. Final numbers on Reif, inning in 2/3, gave a hit, a run, an earned, and 2 walks. And here come the Jetbox looking for some more here. I want to finish that story about Tim Riley's Jimmy John's. I've told him intently to get the Hunters Club, and he has yet to do it. And I know you will, and you'll fall in love with it. Roast beast, provolone, mayo, lettuce. Maybe throw a little oil and vinegar on there. It's delicious. And leading off the inning here for the Jetbox is number 15. Zach Jones takes a swing and a miss there. It's 1-1. First appearance for Derek Boers for this Michigan Monarch squad. Fires one in there, and it's chopped to third. Should be a good, easy play for St. Antoine. It is. And 1 up, 1 down, and Derek Boers has to feel good about that coming in his first ever appearance for the Monarchs. So now 1 down, and actually, I think we have another pinch hitter. Yep, we do have a pinch hitter, Liam Pollock, out. There's no, and through the gap for his first at bat is Nick Kristich from Grand Valley State University, and he has a single. He's a pinch batter for Liam Pollock, who came with the bases loaded in the last half inning, or two innings ago, excuse me. And now the leadoff hitter, Michael Shadarov, the center fielder, with 1 down and a runner on first. Jetbox up by a run. That ball outside. Shadarov, the center fielder, has made some nice plays out there. Good range, very athletic center fielder. And has some pop at the plate as well. Out of Davenport University, one of the best players on this Jetbox team. At that time, slow roll to second, bobbled. They do get the out at second, not the one at first. The ball bobbled by the shortstop, Sam Baker. But 2 down, 1 on. And now Cody Holtink, the left fielder, is up. Holtink from the University of Michigan. So far in this one, a run scored, a walk, and a couple strikeouts. He's batting .222 on the season. We're about a third of the way through the regular season based on what team you're discussing. I mean, the Jetbox, I think, have played the least games in the league. They're just playing their 10th game. This is the 12th game for the Monarchs. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there by Derek Boers in his first ever appearance for the Monarchs. As Holtink looks in here on a 1-0. And a swing and a miss and going for second, and getting in there easily is Shadarov. So now a runner on second with 2 down, and the Jetbox up by 1. What a big insurance run this could prove to be if Holtink can drive in Shadarov. 1-1 count Here comes Derek Boers. You don't want to ever boo a pitcher, but that could be the chant for this guy, for the home Jetbox fans. And that ball right to the second baseman, easy put out for Gametti, and that's the end of the inning. We head to the bottom of the seventh. It's stretch time. Can the Jetbox, or the Monarchs, get some runs here? They trail by 1 on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back to beautiful Lake Trust Stadium. Dan Leach here with you. We head to the bottom of the seventh after a beautiful rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I'm a big peanuts and Cracker Jacks guy, but also I like peanut butter and jelly. And my special guest color man, Garrett Primetime Pogramich, that kid grew up on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, used to beg his parents as a youngster to make him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich when he came over from school. And they said, only if you get all A's. And let me tell you, Garrett ate well because the grades were great. But for some reason, he used vegan peanut butter, which I thought was very lame. Just kidding. Vegan peanut butter is cool. All right, here we go. Bottom of the seventh. Monarchs find themselves trailing by a run. It's Thornton back out. He's pitched well. Has allowed fewer runs, but has inherited some runners. That ball caught easily by the right fielder, Joshua Robinson, and it's 1 up, 1 down. And here comes Ethan Rose. It was Jacob Gametti who led off the inning there with the fly out to right field. Rose, so far on the evening, there's a run, a hit, a couple of ribbies, and a strikeout. He's batting .429. He's one of the 6 new players that have come in the last few days here for the Monarchs. And he takes a ball inside. Here we are, bottom 7. Monarchs trail 7-6. This game is right there for the taking for either squad, but you got to give Thornton some credit after a shaky beginning. It's really settled down. Put zeros on the board the last couple of innings. There's a strike in there on the fastball from Thornton, 1-1. On the number 2 hitter, Ethan, every rose has its thorn. Here's the 1-1 delivery. And that down the pipe for a strike, according to Nick Kabitsky, the home plate umpire. Ed Marks on the right side of first base. 1-2 count on Ethan Rose. Maybe he's a fan of Kiss from a Rose, the Seal song from Batman Forever. And a swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes Ethan Rose. And Thornton with his first strikeout. Or check that, I'm sorry, with his 3rd strikeout. The first in a couple of innings. And it's 2 down, nobody on. And now the 3 hitter, the newcomer, number 9, Jonah St. Antoine, the 3rd baseman. And St. Antoine, so far tonight with a ribby, a walk, and a couple groundouts. That ball outside. Got to give credit to Thornton. He's really buttoned down the last couple of innings and letting the Jetbox have a chance to take the lead with their offense, and they sure did by scoring 4 runs in the 5th and the 6th. And that in for a strike, 1-1 on the 3 hitter, Jonah St. Antoine out of University of Pittsburgh. He's a Panther. Thornton gets the sign. Here's the 1-1. St. Antoine trying to get something going. Remember, he's still 2nd and 3rd the last time up and scored. It was part of that 2-run 4th inning. Here's the 2-1 from Thorrington on. Lights are on here at Lake Trust Stadium. The sun is set. By the way, this is the first day where we get less dark going forward. It's a very depressing day. Thank God we got baseball. We had the longer days until literally yesterday. And that sprayed back staying alive is St. Antoine. But from now until June 21st, or no, I'm sorry, until December 21st, the days are going to get shorter. I know that Garrett Primetime Pogramich is very upset about that because he likes to stay up really late, but can't really stay up unless it's light outside. His bedtime's about 9:30. That ball sprayed to right field, and running in for it is Robinson to make the catch. That ends the inning, and it's 3 up, 3 down for the Monarchs. They go quietly in the 7th. We head to the top of the 8th. Jetbox up 7-6 here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Dan Leach back here with you at Lake Trust Stadium in beautiful Howell, Michigan. Jetbox lead this second game of the 3-game set, 7-6 here. We start at the top of the 8th here. Caden Penn, the designated hitter, is up for the Jetbox. He sprays one back foul. 3 runs scored for Caden Penn on 3 walks, batting .364 so far in this 2023 Great Lakes Collegiate Summer League season. And that ball to Scoop Harden at first, easy out, 2 pitches, 1 down. And a nice start for Derek Boers on relief of Nathan Reif and Joshua Castillo. Here comes Dylan Stanton, Michigan Wolverine, shortstop for this Jetbox team. Stanton so far with 3 hits, 3 ribbies, the offensive leader for this Jetbox team, batting .308. Takes a look at a strike right down the pipe, 0-1 on Stanton. Like what I'm seeing from Derek Boers, the brand new player from Saginaw Valley State, joined the team today. That ball outside. So it's a 1-1 count, 1 down. Jetbox up 7-6 here, the top of the 8th. And that sprayed foul. Is there going to be room there for Cordwell? There is! He falls down and makes the catch. What a job by Cordwell with a canacord. Gets the high five from Scoop Harden. And you know that Mark Harden knows how to do those kind of plays, and that's 2 down. And a great play by Cordwell. Here's fellow Wolverine, Colin Priest, the first baseman. Priest so far tonight with a hit, a ribby, and a walk. Batting just .174. And that ball low from Boers. Monarchs with 6 offensive outs left to try to tie this thing or take the lead and win this series, this 3-game set against the Jetbox. After the 7-0 win last night, that one smacked into right center field, and it could be 2, and it is. At least going for it and getting in there easily is Priest. So a 2-out double for the Holy Man. You could say that was a holy roller. Here comes Joshua Swiss Family Robinson. Don't want to be shipwrecked on an island if you're him. I'll tell you this, that submersible, fascinating. I mean, I've been thinking before I go to bed at night what those guys are doing. Like, hopefully they're still alive, but if they are, in total darkness, like, what are you doing? Are you having Cheez-Its? Are you telling each other ghost stories? How are you staying relaxed? Boy, I hope they find them soon. They're running out of oxygen. They got about like 16 hours left right now. But they'd signed up for it Just hope they're all right. Here's Joshua Robinson. 1-0 count, runner on second after a nice double by Priest. That outside for ball 2. Robinson steps in. Out of Davenport University, the Panthers. And there's a strike. 2-1, 2 down. It's been a solid inning by Derek Boers until that double. Can he get out of this with no damage done? Gets the sign. Here comes the delivery. And sprayed back now, 2-2 count on Joshua Robinson. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Jetbox up by 1. We're here in the top of the 8th. Lake Trust Stadium. Be here tomorrow for game 3 of this series. Could be a rubber match. This could be a game for the Jetbox to try to get 1 win off the Monarchs. We'll see what happens. That ball is right down the middle. Strikeout. Looking. Great work by Derek Boers at the top of the 8th. Got 3 of the 4 batters. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Monarchs down by a run on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back in, Lake Trust Stadium. Dan Leach here, and just got a great message from my man, and I tweeted this the other day. My all-time favorite co-host, no one will ever beat him, the great Dennis Fithian. Liked my Twos Are Wild discussion in that last half inning, but Dennis, one of the best in the business, and literally one of the all-time greats, humanity-wise. So glad that he's tuned in. Love D5th, all my friends do as well, and pitching for the Jetbox, he's wearing number 2. He's number 44 usually. But it's Blake Turning to Stone of ELO fame. He's out of Alma College in Macomb, Michigan. And taking a first pitch strike here for the Monarchs is Baker, the candlestick maker. And another strike. Blake Stone so far for the Jetbox. 9 ERA, 1 game he's been appeared in. 2 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit. So early in his career for the Jetbox as well. And that outside, 1-2 on the leadoff hitter here for the Monarchs, trailing by a run in the bottom of the 8th. That outside works the count 2-2. Check that, I'm sorry, it was Sam Thompson, number 10, the designated hitter, best batter on this squad, batting over 500 right now. 2-2 pitch, sprays it to right field. Will it fall? It will. And Baker on safely. Yet again, this guy, all he does is get on base and drive in runs. Sam Baker now with Sam Thompson, excuse me, with his second hit of the game. Batting over 500. And here comes Connor Cornwell, the catcher. Cornwell so far tonight with 2 strikeouts and a ground out, just batting .250 on the season. He's got a runner on with nobody down. Monarchs looking to get back in this thing, down by a run. And that ball outside. Cornwell, Saginaw Valley State University, sophomore from Sterling Heights. Takes a look here at a 1-0. That outside by Mark Stone, and going to second easily is Thompson. And now he's in scoring position, and the Monarchs looking to pounce on the Jetbox, which we were told earlier in the broadcast are a shipping company based out of Trinidad and Tobago. I would love to know the connection. Are they sponsoring this team? Is there a lot of Trinidad and Tobago connections on the Jetbox? It's a great country filled with amazing people. They got a pretty good soccer program. Here's the 2-0. That's high, 3-0. Something really brewing here for the Monarchs. And Blake Stone just coming in for this Jetbox team in relief of Alan Thornton, who pitched pretty well after giving up 3 earned runs in his first inning of work. And that's a strike down the pipe, 3-1. And then Dalton Vander Ark, who was great for the first 2 innings, then had a really rough spot in the third, giving up 4 runs, and then coming out in the bottom of the fourth. Here comes the 3-1 on Connor Cornwell. Had a great can of corn play defensively from his catcher spot in the last half inning. And that chopped to the second baseman. It's over his head. It's going to fall in, and chugging around third and deciding to go home and scoring easily and tying the game is Sam Thompson. He's an offensive hero, and he continues to be one, but give credit to Connor Cornwell for that bloop shot over the head of Zach Jones. He thought he was going to make the play. He couldn't, and now still nobody down, and we're tied at 7. And here come Monarch South. It's a great job on the text thread last night. Some of the players that are still here and texting the guys in Alaska. How are things up there, kids? Because, we're off to a hot start here. I had to chime in with saying all they're doing is fishing for halibut up in Alaska. But who doesn't want to fish for halibut? Maybe you go to Night Mule from the movie Insomnia. That's the halibut fishing capital of the world. My man Al Pacino. Robin Williams in that movie, the late great Robin Williams. And here comes Scoop Harden, first baseman. Harden so far tonight with 2 hits and a strikeout, batting .333 on the season. Chance to drive in a run here in a tie ball game and give the Monarchs back the lead. We've had 3 lead changes so far. There's a strike, 2-1 on Scoop. Had that walk-off hit in the first ever Monarchs home game here at Lake Trust Stadium in their first ever season here in Howell, Michigan. Great to have them in Livingston County. Not even close. And Harden says, hold up, my friend. Hold up at first to Connor Cornwell. Here's the 3-1. Blake Stone in relief here for the Jetbox. And taking a strike on a borderline pitch as Harden. The count is full. Monarchs get a run in this inning. They'll just be 3 defensive outs away from winning the series by winning this ball game tonight. A beautiful night for baseball at Lake Trust Stadium at Clear University. Here's the payoff. And he holds up and draws the walk. 2 on, nobody down. And here comes TJ Potkova. It's 0 for 3 on the night, but in a great spot here to give the Monarchs the lead. And I believe we've got a meeting of the minds coming up here with Butch Lux. The acting coach is Steve Herbst is not here tonight for the Jetbox. I wonder if this is going to do it for Blake Stone. If it is, he'd have pitched 0 innings. We might just be going over some strategy here. Everyone with the outfielders at the mound, listening to the instructions from Butch Lux, who's the father of fellow teammates Ryan Lux and Brennan Lux. Ryan, the elder statesman from Eastern Michigan. Brennan Lux, undecided on college for next year from Shelby Township, both of them. This looks like just a meeting at the mound here, and deciding how they want to pitch. Potkova, who's not really made a dent hit-wise this season, but is in a big spot here. Batting just 133, but Potkova has shown some pop in several of his at-bats. Just hasn't been able to get balls to drop or through the gaps in the infield. So here we go. Mark turning to Stone on in relief. Both Dalton Vander Ark and Alan Thorington for the Jetbox. And with 2 on, nobody down, here's Potkova. And he squares around and bunts it foul, so I mean, that's one of the discussion points Butch Lux was having with Mark Stone in the infield, that they expected a possible bunt here. So it's an 0-1 count. Wonder if he's going to square around and show bunt again. Runners on first and second. Nobody down. Game already tied with the Monarchs played and won this inning. He squares around for a bunt, but it's outside, so 1-1 here. As I mentioned, we're here in the bottom of the 8th. If the Monarchs get a run, at least one run here, they'll just be 3 defensive outs away from winning this series and getting back to 500 on the season. They came in tonight 5-6, Jetbox 1-8. Here comes the 1-1 from Mark Stone. Bunt shown. It's a perfect one down the third base line. They will throw him out, but the runners advance, and the Monarchs have second and third with one down, and a chance to take the lead in the bottom of the 8th. Job well done by Potkova. I will tell you this, we have seen throughout this early part of the season some really well-placed bunts by the Monarchs in a lot of different situations. Obviously, the majority of them coming in their wins, but that is just really good coaching. You can work on this stuff during practice, during BP, and they've really laid down some great bunts. And that ball sprayed to the first baseman by Dower. Runners have to hold. Dower's out, and that was a great result for both Stone and the Jetbox there. Now you just have runners on second and third with 2 down. Base hit still probably scores 2. And coming up is the number 9 hitter, Sam Baker, the candlestick maker. He's got 2 runs scored so far tonight and a hit, but batting just 182. Can he have some 2-out magic for this Michigan Monarch squad? And down the pipe for a strike. Sam Baker, one of the Point U Georgia players on this squad for Prattville, Alabama. Also Jason Dower from Point U. That ball outside, so it's 1-1. Runners on second and third in Cornwell and Hardin for the Monarchs. 1-1 count. And there he goes. That ball is going to fall right into the hands of Colin Priest, and the threat is over. The Monarchs can't score with second and third and 1 down, and we head to the top of the 9th. Tied at 7 on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Dan Leach back here with you at Lake Trust Stadium. Great to have you along for the ride. We're in a deadlock 7-7 game. Derek Brewer's back on from Saginaw Valley State for the Monarchs. Monarchs with a golden opportunity with runners on second and third. For the beautiful bunt by Potkova with 1 out, could not score. Good pitching, though, by Blake Stone, and that ball fouled back to the backstop 0-1 on the leadoff hitter here. Actually, do we have a pinch? Oh, I'm sorry, Bruce Jellison. A lot of numbers have been switched by both teams, so always got to make sure. Jellison out of Wabash U takes a ball. It's 1-1. Monarchs can get out of this inning unscathed. They'll have a chance to walk off for the second time here at Lake Trust Stadium this season. That's sprayed back to our right. 1-2 on Jellison. As we mentioned, Jellison from Wabash, one of the great JUCOs in the country. They were 57-13 this year. They lost in the semifinals of their playoffs. Jellison with a run tonight and a ribby. So he has to register a hit, though, on the season for the Jetbox. That ball sprayed back, stays alive. 1-2 on Jellison to lead off here in the top of the ninth in a deadlock 7-7 ball game. Only thing better would be 3 sevens if you're playing a slot machine. Here's the 1-2. And stays alive again. This guy a big Bee Gees fan. Must be. Jellison, the third baseman. See those Jetbox helmets? Blue with the word box on the front. Can be interpreted in many different ways. 1-2 on Jellison. Tim Riley liked that joke. Here comes the delivery, and that not even close. Way up in the zone. So it's 2-2. It's been a good at bat to lead off this top of the ninth in a 7-7 ball game by Jellison. Here comes Boers. The 2-2 delivery. And he strikes him out swinging. High heat by Boers. And 1 up, 1 down here on the top of the ninth. And here comes Zach Jones from Ball State, the Cardinals, home of David Letterman, Bonzi Wells back in the day. That ball outside, 1-1. On Zach Jones, the second baseman, out of Rochester, Michigan. Here's the Boers delivery, and that down the middle for a beautiful strike. Took a little off of that one and fooled young Jones. Here's the 1-1. That ball sprayed out of play. Looked like for a second it might come down in reach of first baseman Scoop Harden. Status is strike, 1-2. We do go to extras, by the way. We'll start with a runner on second, a la Major League Baseball, but then things get hairy in the 11th. I think they're going to do a water balloon contest to see who wins this one. We'll make sure we have the information for you if we get that far. 2-2 count now on Zach Jones. And that, just off the plate. It looked like it was a strike. Nick Kubitsky saw it differently, and the count is full on Jones. 3-2, 1 down, top of the ninth, 7-7 game. That sprayed foul down the first base side. So staying alive here, really good at bat, Zach Jones. Here comes Boers, looking for the strikeout, and he gets him swinging. Oh, they're going to say it was a foul ball. He's appealing to Ed Marks. Ed Marks is just going to say no. I don't think Ed Marks had a good view of that play, but boy, did it look like he swung through that and didn't get a piece. But what do I know? I only have 20/15 vision. By the way, if people don't know what that means, that's better than perfect. I ate a lot of carrots as a kid. Lascally Wabbits. All right, 3-2 count. Here's Boers. And another swinging foul. This has been an excellent at bat, one of the best of the night by either team. Zach Jones staying alive. And Boers giving him his best. Remember, this is Boers' first ever appearance for the Monarchs. Just joined the team a couple days ago. One of the 6 new players here because the majority of the team up in Alaska. Here's the 3-2 delivery again, and he swings and misses that time. There was no issues or questions on that pitch. And it's strikeout number 2 for Boers in this inning. And now, last hope here for the Jetbox. Nick Kristich, who came in as a pinch hitter for Liam Pollock a couple innings ago. Kristich, out of Grand Valley State University, a sophomore from Madison Heights, takes a strike, fastball, right down the middle. Jetbox could walk this, or excuse me, the Monarchs could walk this game off in the bottom of the 9th for the second time this season. Something tells me there's a good chance that might happen. They should have probably scored a run in the last half inning, or last inning at bat when they had second and third with one down. But they can make up for it this time. If they get out of this inning with no runs scored, that foul back. Now it's a 1-2 count on the number 9 hitter, Nick Kristich, his second at bat. Did have a hit last time up. Batting just 143 on the season, though, for the Jetbox. Here's the 1-2. Boers looks in. Gets the call from Cornwell. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss. It does go past the catcher, and he's going to be safe at first. Unlucky break. A great pitch by Boers. And that ball, I don't really think it was Cornwell's fault either. It just took a weird bounce after the swing and a miss, and it will be a runner on first with 2 down for the Jetbox. They turn over the lineup. Here's Shadarov, the leadoff hitter. He does have a run, a ribby, and a walk to go along with a strikeout, batting .242 now on the season. Shadarov, the lefty. Runner on first, 2 down. Here's Boers. And that down the pipe, but a little high. So starts him off with a ball. Last night's game was under 2 hours. Tonight's game might be over 3 hours. That's baseball. And inside 2-0. Shadarov, Davenport U, the Panthers, one of the best players on this Jetbox squad, a sophomore out of Warren, Michigan. Here's the 2-0. Boers looks in. That outside the zone again, 3-0, and after Boers looked so good to start this inning, a little control problems here. Got to tighten the belts. Don't want to have another scoring opportunity here for the Jetbox. And that down the middle, 3-1. That's what we've seen from Boer for the first couple of batters until that bad break with the strikeout, but getting the first safely, Nick Kristich. So a 3-1 count, 2 down, runner on first, game knotted at 7. Here's Boers, gets the sign from Cornwell. Here's the delivery, and that's swung on and fouled back to our left. And he's worked the count full, has Boers a strike away from giving the Monarchs a chance with the run to walk this Jetbox team off, win the series, and get back to 500. Here is the payoff pitch. Runner in motion. That chopped through the gap, gotten by the second baseman, but not in time. Both runners are safe, and now the Jetbox have a chance with the runner in scoring position, and Cody Holtink coming up. Holtink with a run scored, a walk, and 2 strikeouts, batting .214 on the season for the Jetbox. Holtink out of University of Michigan, junior out of Battle Creek, Michigan. One of 2 Wolverines on the Jetbox squad. So now runners on first and second, 2 down. Here's Boers down the pipe for a strike on Cody Holtink. You got Kristich at second, Shadarov at first, 2 down, 7-7 here on the top of the 9th. This has been the most intense game we've seen here at Cleary for the Monarchs. That a little high, 1-1. Definitely been impressed by Boers for the majority of his batters that he's faced so far. He's really had some great movement on his fastball and gotten a lot of swinging strikes and a lot of foul tips as well. That one back to the right of our broadcast position. So now it's a 1-2 count. Runners on first and second. 7-7 game, and Holtink at the dish, trying to give the Jetbox the lead. Here's Boers, the 1-2 pitch. And it's swung into left field. That's going to drop, and it's over the head of Ethan Rose. It's going to score 2. It's all the way back to the fence. And the triple Lindy, maybe trying inside the park home run. Will he get it? He does. Oh, my God. What can you say about Cody Holtink, the inside, the park home run on a 1-2 count, and the ball over Ethan Rose's head? Just a tough luck situation for the Monarchs there, and boy, this thing went to maybe a walk-off for the Monarchs to very unlikely the Monarchs can win this thing. Never say never, but that was the hit of the game, maybe the season, for this 1-8 Jetbox team, and it's Cody Holtink. Now Caden Penn up, nobody on, 2 down, but 3 runs in. How the game can change on a dime. That was just incredible. You rarely see an inside the park home run on an AstroTurf field. Or just in general, unless you're, I don't know, Torrey Hunter. 2-0 count on Penn. Penn with 3 runs scored and 3 walks. Was hit by the pitch once. Swing and a miss. 2-1 on Caden Penn, but no matter what happens here, the damage has been done. Monarchs have to dig really deep in a game that they thought they would be 3 defensive outs away from winning it when they had second and third, 1 out in the top of the bottom of the 8th. And that ball down the middle for a strike, 2-2 on Caden Penn. And, you know, you feel for Boers, who's really pitched at a high level, but had a couple bad breaks. And that sliced fair down the left field line, and Penn is going to roll into second easy without a throw. So it just keeps getting worse and worse. Then he does the arrow, which is unnecessary. You missed it. You guys weren't watching. He did the little arrow man thing. What is he, Robin Hood? What is he, an archer? All right, now up is Dylan Stanton, the shortstop. Stanton so far in the evening with 3 hits, 3 ribbies, batting .286 on the season. 3 for 4 on the night. Stanton takes the ball, and it has gone from bad to worse. It looked like the Monarchs would have a chance to walk them off with any kind of run scored. Now they're going to be gasping for air, down at least 3 in the bottom of the 9th. That outside, 2-0, excuse me. And credit where credit is due. You had some really nice at-bats from Kristich, Shadarov, and then Holtink with the inside the park home run. And if things stay the way they are, he would be our player of the game. It's obviously very tough to give one away to the opposing team, but we're fair when it comes to that kind of stuff. We have a committee of 13 that vote for the player of the game, and Gary Primetime Pogovich is in charge of tallying those votes. It's always done by secret ballot on parchment paper with quills. Takes Garrett a little time to figure out exactly who's won that. 2-0 count here on Dylan Stanton, the shortstop. 3 runs in, and that skied to right field. Can Podkova make the catch? He can. It's foul territory. So going back is Penn, and it will be a 2-1 count when we come back for Stanton. Boy, you could just taste the chance to win a game, and Monarchs had second and third with 1 down after a beautiful bunt by TJ Podkova, and then just some bad luck with that ball in left field by Ethan Rose. Goes past him, goes all the way to the fence, and allows the speedy Cody Holtink to get the inside the park home run, scoring 3. And that ball through the gap between third and short, and that is going to keep Penn at third, but yet another hit for this Jetbox team, and trying to get that ball was St. Antoine. He couldn't. And now runners on the corners with 2 down, and Colin Priest is up. Priest with 2 hits, a ribby, and a walk. Batting .208 on the season so far. And after it looked so good for Boers, he had that swinging strike that got Kristich to first, and things just kind of have gone off the rails since then. I mean, it's the matter of the ball bouncing another inch to the right, and they're out of the inning. Instead, it's a strikeout, but the runner gets to first, and then next thing you know, 3 runs are in. And there's a strike, 1-1 on the number 5 hitter, Colin Priest, out of University of Michigan. As I mentioned, one of the 2 Wolverines on this squad. He's from Mount Dora, Florida. Here's the 1-1, and that's not even close. 2-1. Penn on third base. Stanton on first. 2 down, 3 in. Jetbox 10-7. There's the 2-1. That's going to get through the cap there. Diving for it was Gametti. Can't get it. Penn scores easy, and it's 11-7. And boy, is this game and the complexion of it changed on a dime. And you wonder if are you going to leave. It's not really all his fault, but everyone's getting hits now on Derek Boers. And here comes the great Peter Riley. And I think that's probably going to do it for Boers. You don't want to allow any more. You still can obviously come back in this thing, but you can't allow a 5th run in here. And they're going to meet at the mound here, and I think this is probably going to be the night. It is. Maybe not. I thought they gave the signal there. Should ask Tim. Tim, what do you think your dad's saying right now? I think he's actually asking him if he ever read the book War and Peace. So it looks like this is more of a strategy situation. They're not going to take him out. Peter Riley filling in for both Adam Castillo and Kelton Caldwell who are in Alaska. So, yeah, he's staying in. And now, with 4 runs in and a runner on second with 2 down, this has all been with 2 outs, by the way, including that inside the park home run by Holtink. And Boers is swinging his right arm around, kind of loosening it up. Here comes Joshua Robinson. Robinson with a run scored, a walk, and a strikeout, batting 182 on the season. He's got another runner in scoring position for the Jetbox here. That ball in for a strike. Way to start it off there for Boers, trying to get out of this inning with no more damage done. I mean, there's still obviously a chance for the Monarchs to get a big rally going, but the way this game has gone, it seems like the death knell has been had so far. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there again by Boers. So it's an 0-2 count on Joshua Swiss Family Robinson, the number 6 hitter. Oh and 2, 2 down, 4 runs in, 11-7 Jetbox. And that ball sprayed to center. Dower should, it drops in between Dower and Podkova, and another run scores, and the wheels are fully off as Colin Priest sachets his way home with the Bible, and now it is 12-7. And here comes Bruce Jellison, could do some more damage with a runner at third. That's the 5th run in, all with 2 outs. 12-7 Jetbox. And that ball sprayed into right field. That's going to score another. And now it's 13-7. This was a 7-7 game in the top of the 9th. 6 runs in, all with 2 outs, including a inside the park home run by Cody Holtink. And the Jetbox have almost batted around. Holy smoke factories. Here's Zach Jones. And that in for a strike. Looked like the Monarchs would have a great chance with 2 down and a swinging strike and the ball getting past the catcher Cordwell to get out of the inning and a chance to walk it off. Now they're down 6. And that ball sprayed to third. Nice play there by St. Antoine. He's going to not get there in time, though. And everyone is safe. Bases juiced. I need a juice box. Anybody got one? Maybe a Capri Sun? Maybe one of those, like, what is it, Honest Kids or Nature Kids? The healthy ones? Oh, boy, have things completely changed in this one. And now they have batted around. Nick Kristich up. He led off the inning. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry, Zach Jones led off the inning. That would spray to center. That's going to fall. It's probably going to score 2, and it will. And chugging for third and getting in there easy is Shadarov, or check that, is Jellison, and this has just become a absolute mollywhopping. That is now 8 runs scored. It is 15-7. Could they mercy? They can't mercy you. It's the top of the 9th, right? If they go by 10, is it over? Holy crap, festival. So 2 runs away from a mercy at home. There's a strike on Shadarov. The leadoff hitter has batted twice in the inning. 2 runs, a hit, a ribby, a walk, and a strikeout on the night. And this has just gone from bad to worse. There's a ball, 1-1. And while Boers looked so good through the first 3 batters, he's got unlucky with that swinging strike that ended up being a pass ball. He has obviously struggled the last several batters. And the coaching staff has just decided to keep him in with such few players here. Once things got out of hand, no reason to waste another arm when you only have 14 players until the rest of the team gets back from Alaska. So it's a 1-2 count. Brewers desperately trying to get out of the inning. This inning is taking as long as 3 episodes of Seinfeld. And that sprayed back to our left. Stays 1-2. Numbers on Brewers, not good. After they looked really good. 2 2/3, 11 hits given up, 8 runs, 8 earned, 4 strikeouts. He's faced 20 batters. Yikes. Here's the 1-2. And that low and 2-2. And as I said, if 2 runs score here and the Jetbox go up by 2, the game is over via the mercy rule. That would be embarrassing. And there's a strike, and don't have to worry about that. But the damage is done. 8 runs scored by the Jetbox in the top of the 9th, and they were all with 2 outs. Let's see what the Monarchs could do here in the bottom of the 9th, down 15-7 on the Michigan Monarchs broadcast network. Dan Leach back here with you, Lake Trust Stadium. Well, we look like we're going to have a rubber game tomorrow. I mean, I don't want to say look like, we are. Jetbox went from tied 7-7 to almost mercying the Monarchs in the top of the 9th. They score 8 runs and lead it 15-7. And remember, you had a swinging strike on Kristich, which would have ended the inning. It passed Cordwell to the left by a couple feet, safe at first, and from that point on, 8 consecutive runs, all with 2 down. New pitcher for the Jetbox, number 38, Andrew Jeremy Renner of Marvel fame from Albion College. The right-handed pitcher is a sophomore from Brighton. Leading off the inning is Jason Gameni. He's got a run, a hit, 2 ribbies, a walk, just batting 167 on the season. Takes a strike, first pitch. Boy, how things can change in baseball on a dime. Monarchs look to maybe winning the series. Now they have to try to tie the series, or win the series tomorrow. And that ball is not able to be gobbled up by Colin Priest. So safe at first is Gameni. And here comes Ethan Rose from Middle Tennessee State. Rose on the evening, a run, a hit, 2 ribbies. 2 strikeouts, second on the team with a .375 average. Hey, never say never, but I'll tell you this. If the Monarchs score 8 runs and at least tie this game, I will do the next game naked. And I don't know if anyone wants to see that, but I will do it. I mean, I've been going on a lot of walks lately. I'm getting back in shape. Takes a strike, does every rose has its thorn, and so far tonight, every rose does have its thorn for this Monarchs team. Left fielder looking at an 0-1 count. Here comes Renner. And that a little high, 1-1. It'd be nice if the Monarchs were able to just play a couple here and get a good taste in your mouth for tomorrow's rubber match. We'll be here tomorrow, 7 o'clock pregame, 7:05 first pitch. And that outside for a 2-1 count. By the way, Renner on the season so far for the Jetbox. As here comes the 2-1. That's in there for a strike. Renner has appeared now in 4 games. He's 0-1 with a 5.68 ERA. He's allowed 12 hits. Struck out 7, walked 3, and 6 1/3. And 4 earned. So now the count worked full by the number 2 hitter, Ethan Rose, with Gameni just beating out the play at first. And now he's going to second, and it's a foul tip. Staying alive, 3-2 still is Ethan Rose. But the Jetbox did the damage, the needle and the damage done. Honor one of my heroes, Neil Young. 15-7. This is a 7-7 game about 20 minutes ago in the bottom of the 8th. And a swing and a miss down on strikes is Ethan Rose. Here comes Jonah St. Antoine, one of the 6 new players for this Monarchs team out of University of Pittsburgh. St. Antoine so far tonight with a ribby and a walk. He's yet to register a hit in his young career. Just a couple days now with the Monarchs. But his next plays at third. That ball in for a strike, 0-1. Renner in on relief of Blake Stone, Alan Thornton, and Dalton Vander Ark. Reminds me of Noah's Arcade in Wayne's World. That ball just kind of sachets its way in there high for a ball. 1-1, 1 down. Runner on first, and the Jetbox up by 8. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there by Andrew Renner. Renner, a sophomore from Brighton at Albion College. It's a big win for the Jetbox. They battled back down 6-3 earlier. Just a 1-8 squad so far, and strikeout, throw out, no. So it will be 2 down with the runner on second. And the last hope is the best batter on this Monarchs team, Sam Thompson. It'd be nice for him to knock one in. Sam Thompson batting .500 as a run, 2 hits, a ribby, and a strikeout tonight. Looking to up that average above .500. The chance to drive in Gameni at second. And Gameni's off to third. Will steal it easily to defensive indifference. And that pitch in there for a strike. Or check that, I'm sorry, Ethan Rose at third. So Rose at third, 0-1. Here's the pitch. That's in for a strike, 0-2. And now the Monarchs, who were tied at 7-7 going into the top of the night, down to their final strike. Remember, they led this game 6-3 in the bottom of the 5th. And that ball sprayed foul. Staying alive is Thompson, one of the best hitters in this entire Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. And you would think that he probably will get the nod for the Monarchs All-Star. At least the one for sure. There could be multiple. Thompson from Michigan State, senior from Bremen, Georgia. Here's the 0-2 from Renner. And that skied 8,000 feet in the air, and as Cornwell have a play, does not. For a second, the game was over, and then it wasn't. So now it's back to Monarchs North in Alaska. Yesterday it was Monarchs South that won with that 7-0 victory over the Jetbox, and unfortunately Monarchs North up in Alaska got walked off by the Alaska Gold Panthers, but they'll play them tonight at the 118th edition of the Midnight Game, 2 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. local time in Alaska. And that ball, a mile in the air again to right. There should be a play, and there is not. Trying to get in there, but not finding a way to end the game was Priest. So staying alive is Sam Thompson. I'll tell you this. Obviously, the result of this top of the ninth and the end of this game has been awful if you're a Monarchs fan, but Sam Thompson is a great player, and he's going to be very important for the Monarchs throughout this season. Just such presence at the plate, can drive in runs. That time he swings and misses, and the game mercilessly is over, though, but Sam Thompson will be heard of many more times. That's going to do it, though, as the Jetbox down 6-3, bottom 5, score 12 straight runs. Win this thing, including 8 at the top of the ninth, 15-7. Player of the game, you got to give it to Cody Holtig. He had the 3-run inside the park home run to give the Monarchs the Jetbox a 3-run lead before they scored 5 more. And they even up the series with a 15-7 win. We'll be back here tomorrow, 7 o'clock pregame, 7:05 first pitch of the rubber match of this series for the Monarchs. We'll have a day off and play the clip joint, or 2 days off, excuse me. Play the clip joint on Sunday. And that is going to do it for us. Want to thank all of you so much for tuning in. Wish we had better news to report. Great job by Garrett Primetime Pogrovich. Of course, by Tim Riley and our great peeps up here in the booth, Kyle and Nick on the PA. But most importantly, to you. Till next time, keep reaching for the stars. Believe in the dream. Dan Leach saying so long from Lake Trust Stadium. Monarchs go down 15-7. See you tomorrow on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network.